Chapter 1929. At this time on Yanhuang Peak, Xia Ping returned to the space within the mountain river Pearl and went to the place where he usually trained. He took out the purple lightning flower, void grass, 5-element vine, phoenix wood, and other holy medicines. These were all obtained from the auction. Through the universe virtual network they had already been sent to him. He instantly relaxed. It seemed like the universe virtual network was very reliable. It didn't steal his treasures. Among them he was most interested in the phoenix wood. This wood was formed from being stained with phoenix blood. It contained dense phoenix power. In truth, the phoenix was also a fire-type mythical creature. It had undying power and could be reborn from ashes. Its blood was very attractive to him. This would seem to be engraved with golden patterns. There seemed to be a phoenix hidden within. It emitted a dense flame power as though it was about to burn. If a normal person obtained this piece of phoenix wood, they would probably be burned to ashes the moment they came into contact with its aura. After all, this was holy wood. Normal people couldn't even touch it. Preserving it required special methods. As for the other holy medicines, he temporarily planted them in the mountain river Pearl space. He would use them later. Holy medicines were extremely precious. They were non-renewable resources. Every time he used them he had to be careful. He had to maximize the benefits. Refine. Xia Ping grabbed the piece of phoenix wood. The hell golden crow fire in his body immediately emerged. It transformed into a huge sun furnace in mid-air. Countless hell golden crow runes appeared in the depths of the furnace, emitting a mystical power. Rumble. Immediately the huge hell golden crow fire burned and covered the piece of phoenix wood. Originally this piece of phoenix wood was indestructible. Normal methods couldn't damage it at all. However, under the burning of the hell golden crow fire, it actually melted. Yes, it melted. The wood should have been burned to ashes. However, it melted. This showed how mystical the phoenix wood was. It definitely wasn't an ordinary treasure. The entire piece of wood was rapidly melted by the hell golden crow fire. In a few breaths' time, it actually turned into a ball of red liquid. It contained divine properties. Phoenix blood. Xia Ping's pupils contracted. He instinctively sensed that this ball of red liquid was the legendary and famous phoenix blood. Ordinary methods would not be able to refine this piece of wood. In fact, after the Thunder Tribulation Realm Monster King obtained the phoenix wood, he tried all kinds of methods but he couldn't refine it. It couldn't be destroyed, refined, or used. The only thing was that fire-type life forms would be able to cultivate faster in front of this piece of phoenix wood. There were no other benefits. It had clearly obtained such a peerless treasure, but there were no benefits at all. This really angered the Monster King to death. Thus, it decided to sell it in exchange for the Pill of Fortune. After all, no matter how good a treasure was, it would be useless if it couldn't be used. But Xia Ping was different. The Hellfire Golden Crow on his body was the highest level of flame in the universe. Even the phoenix blood couldn't resist it. In the blink of an eye, this piece of phoenix wood was refined. It suffered bloodline suppression and level suppression. Unbelievable. Xia Ping was mesmerized. He felt that this phoenix blood seemed to contain supreme profundities. Countless phoenix runes were contained within, possessing the characteristics of mythical life forms. It was all-encompassing and emitted a powerful vitality. It was as if a phoenix could revive from this ball of blood at any time. It contained a huge amount of phoenix flames. Vaguely, the phantom of a phoenix seemed to appear in this ball of blood. It was as if it was displaying the glory of the primordial era. The space within a radius of thousands of miles trembled and rumbled. It was as if there was a phoenix crying out, causing all the living beings in the space of the Pearl of mountains and rivers to tremble. It was as if they had encountered a terrifying life form that they couldn't resist. Their blood boiled. Devour. Xia Ping didn't say anything else. He immediately swallowed this ball of phoenix blood into his body. It entered the depths of his stomach, where it was refined and purified by the solar furnace, absorbing the purest energy. Whoosh, he felt this ball of phoenix blood turn into the densest flame energy. It surged into his limbs and bones, fusing into the depths of every inch of his blood. It was as if it wanted to corrode his body and change his physique to that of a phoenix. Roar, however, the golden crow of hell in his body felt threatened. It instantly went berserk and was completely enraged. The blood in his body boiled like lava, rapidly condensing into the phantom of the golden crow of hell. Boom. In an instant, the golden crow of hell appeared. It was indomitable like an unparalleled fiend god. It was incomparably ferocious and swallowed the phoenix in a single gulp. Not even its bones were left behind. The phoenix only left behind a mournful cry, but it soon disappeared, completely digested. Even the legendary phoenix couldn't withstand the ferocious might of the golden crow of hell. In truth, the phoenix was a mythical creature on the same level as the golden crow. However, the golden crow of hell was different. After its death, it absorbed the endless resentment and the source energy of hell, and its life essence underwent a further transformation. It was as if it was the incarnation of death, the god of the underworld that wielded the authority of hell. Hence, the phoenix was no longer a match for the golden crow of hell. It was different from the golden crow of hell. Whoosh! After completely devouring this ball of phoenix blood, Xiaoping felt the cells of the golden crow of hell in his body crazily awakening. A massive amount of flame energy surged in. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, he didn't know how much time had passed. When the energy of the phoenix blood was completely digested, Xiaoping felt that 95 million golden crow of hell cells had awakened in his body. He was 5 million golden crow of hell cells away from awakening 100 million golden crow of hell cells. He had a feeling that if he awakened 100 million golden crow of hell cells, his bloodline would undergo a further transformation. At the same time, his heavenly tribulation would descend, and it would be even more terrifying than before. There's still too little phoenix blood. Xiaoping felt that it was a pity. If there was more phoenix blood, he might be able to directly awaken 100 million golden crow of hell cells. However, perhaps this wasn't necessarily a bad thing. After all, once they were awakened, he might encounter heavenly tribulation. At that time, the entire heaven and earth star would be enveloped by heavenly tribulation. It would alarm the elders and disciples of the heaven and earth sect. Some of his secrets might also be exposed. It was better to wait until he was completely prepared before breaking through. Continue my seclusion. Xiaoping sat cross-legged. Although he had devoured the phoenix blood, he still hadn't grasped the explosive power of his body and the energy of the golden crow of hell. Chapter 1930. In another place in the space of the mountain river Pearl, the Fae and the crow demon bird were locked up. Although the two primordial descendants were locked up in a cage, they were eating well and living well. They didn't even exercise these days, so they actually put on a lot of weight. Damn it, what is that bastard Wu Wuti doing? He made the ground shake and the miasma fill the air. Can't he let us sleep? The Fae was very angry. It felt like it had been woken up from its sleep, especially when it had a dream where it was intimate with a beautiful female snake. However, at the critical moment, it was woken up by a bird's cry. It was so scared that it thought it was caught in the bed by the other party's husband. Look at you. After being imprisoned for such a long time, you have actually become this decadent. If someone were to see you now, who would believe that you are the famous Fae? Instead, the Fae, an immemorial descendant, has been raised into a house snake. The baleful crow demonic bird was heartbroken, hating iron for not becoming steel. Brother Crow, don't think that I'm sleeping all day. In fact, I'm not sleeping. I'm thinking about how to escape from this cage. The Fae said seriously. Really? Why do I hear you snoring every day? Are you going to hibernate? The crow demon bird was expressionless. That's my habit of thinking. I like to snore when I'm thinking. When the Fae lied, his face did not blush and his heart did not jump. All right, then tell me what escape plan you've thought of. The crow demon bird didn't want to care so much and directly asked the Fae what escape plan it had. Humph, humph, then I'm all ears. The Fae coughed and said, according to my observation over the past few days, I'm afraid that the place where we are imprisoned is not a planet or a continent in the universe, but a space-type magic treasure. Moreover, it's not an ordinary space-type magic treasure, but a sacred object. That green bull is the device spirit of the sacred object. Do I need you to tell me that? Am I a fool? The crow demon bird said impatiently. It had already noticed this, so it felt that it was difficult to escape, because this spatial magic tool was simply a natural cage. If it couldn't escape from this spatial magic tool, it would never be able to escape from this world. The problem was, wanting to escape from this sacred weapon was practically harder than ascending to the heavens. It's impossible to force our way out. This is a saint artifact. With our strength, there's no way we can escape. Not to mention, there's also that detestable Wu Wuti monitoring us at all times. Faye said seriously, therefore it's not suitable for us to fight against them. We should choose to obey them for the time being. We should listen to their orders and work hard for them to gain their trust. Oh, go on. The crow baleful demonic bird was in awe. It immediately felt that this fat snake did not seem to have been sleeping for nothing these past few days. It still had some knowledge and it could be useful at critical moments. After gaining their trust, we can't let our guard down. We have to work harder. Every day we go to work at 9 in the morning and get off work at 6. We're never late or leave early. We don't even need to take vacations. Fei said in an impassioned tone. After that, we can get a sum of money from this place on the 15th of every month. After hundreds of years or even thousands of years, we can leave this place with our heads held high and our chests held high. In this way we can guarantee that we can leave without anyone knowing. We can even get a large sum of money from this place. We can get a huge windfall. We can also live here and eat here every day. However, that human bastard Wu Wuti can't do anything to us. He doesn't even know how his money disappeared. In this way not only can we escape but we can also take revenge. We can cheat this bastard of a large sum of money and become rich. At this point, it was extremely excited, and its eyes shone with a dazzling light. Bang! At the end, the baleful demonic bird's face was as black as charcoal. It slapped the Fei away and slammed it into the wall. It shouted loudly, "Get lost! What kind of bullshit idea is this? This is called working." Fuck, it knew that this brainless snake was unreliable, but it didn't expect it to be so unreliable. It actually wanted to work for that profiteer Wu Wuti every day from 9 to 6 just for that meager salary. There was no insurance, no housing and no holidays. He even bribed it by providing food and shelter. It didn't have the arrogance of a primordial species at all. "I knew that you bastard can't be relied on. If I relied on you, I would have died of old age long ago. I've already thought of a way to leave this place." The baleful demonic bird's face was gloomy. As expected of Brother Wuxia, "You're indeed a cunning old fox. Hurry up and tell me what plan you have." The Fei's skin was very thick. The palm just now could not cause any harm to it. When it heard the baleful demonic bird said that there was a way to leave, it immediately jumped up. According to my observation that humans' internal defense in this magic treasure space is very lax. Perhaps he thinks that he's invincible in this magic treasure space, so he's arrogant and doesn't take us seriously. The baleful demonic bird sneered. "It just so happens that we can use this human's arrogance to take revenge on him and force him to let us leave this damn place." It clenched its fists. "How do we force him?" the Fei asked curiously. "It's very simple. We'll first escape from this cage, then go somewhere else and kidnap a senior cadre around this human. We'll use that senior cadre's life as a threat to force Wu Wuti to let us leave." The baleful demonic bird thought of a series of plans. "Great, this plan is simply perfect. However, this cage is very strong. How should we leave?" The Fei showed a bitter face. It felt that it had encountered a setback at the first step. That green bull is too confident. He thinks that he can stop me from leaving by setting up a spatial cage. He doesn't know that I, the baleful demonic bird, have the black fog supernatural power. The baleful demonic bird said proudly, "This black fog contains baleful chi. It can corrode everything, even space, and it can pierce through void wormholes. These days I haven't been doing nothing. When the guards aren't paying attention, I've already secretly made a small passage in this cage. We can escape from this place." "That's amazing, but isn't your magic power sealed? Why can you still use supernatural power?" the Fei asked curiously. "What's a small sealing technique? How can it bind me?" Of course, in order not to attract the attention of that bastard green bull, I only slightly cracked the sealing formation and leaked a little power. The baleful demonic bird said arrogantly. "Then what are we waiting for? Let's run." The Fei shouted. "Don't be so loud. Also, your body is too big. Shrink a little. Are you afraid that others won't notice you?" The baleful demonic bird warned. "What do you mean? Are you jealous of the height of my Fei clan? Who doesn't know that the bigger the body of my Fei clan, the more handsome we are? Can we attract more beautiful female snakes? I'm a peerless handsome man of the Fei clan." Chapter 1931. In a forest in the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. A palm-sized black bird and a 20-centimeter-long red snake were flying in this huge forest. They were the shrunken crow demon bird and Fei. At this time, they had quietly escaped from the space channel and were not discovered by anyone for the time being. Because at this moment, the attention of the green ox had long been attracted by the few sacred medicines that Xiaoping had obtained. It was looking for a place to plant these 8 sacred medicines. As for the 2 prisoners, the crow demon bird and Fei, they had long been forgotten by it. It also thought that even if these 2 primordial descendants ran out, they would not be able to cause much trouble in the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. "Brother Crow, what should we do now? Are we going to catch those hateful girls? Those bastards actually pointed at us and even auctioned us. This is a great humiliation." The Fei shouted. I wanted to catch those slave girls. Idiot, what's the use of catching those women? At a glance, you can tell that they are some low-level employees and also the slaves of that evil tyrant Wuxia. It's just that their level is a little higher than ours. They are high-level slaves. The crow demon bird said. High-level slaves? Are there low and high levels of slaves? The Fae asked curiously. Of course there are, but this is not the point. The point is that catching those girls is useless. Moreover, there are many primordial descendants around those girls. Now they have been subdued by those girls and become traitors and spies of the primordial descendants. The crow demon bird said, if we rashly go there, we might be caught by those primordial descendants and sell our whereabouts, causing us to suffer more severe punishment. What? Is there such a thing? They are actually spies of the primordial descendants? So despicable and shameless? The Fae shouted in horror. Who knows what they are thinking? For them, catching us fugitives is a great credit. They can obtain supreme benefits, so why not catch us? The crow demon bird said, in short, we have to avoid meeting those traitors. We will directly find the senior cadres of this place, capture them, and negotiate with that bastard Wuxia. It clenched its wings. But where are the senior cadres of this place? The Fae expressed that it did not know this place. I knew you weren't observant enough. Previously, when those bastards treated us as coolies and plowed the fields, I noticed that there was a place where the senior officers were. The baleful crow demon bird said proudly, that place is a huge manor. Many young girls come and go from there, cleaning like maids. If they're not high-ranking officers, how could they receive such treatment? Where is that place? Faye asked. Just follow me. It's not far ahead. The baleful crow fiend bird flapped its wings and flew forward. Although it was only the size of a palm, it was extremely fast like black lightning. The Fae's speed was not slow either. Its body wriggled and immediately followed. Soon, the Fae and the dark evil demon bird arrived at a manor stealthily. Haha, this place's security is really lax. There's not even a single guard here. The heavens are helping me. Seeing the situation in the manor, the malevolent crow demon bird immediately became excited and proud. Because it found that there were no guards in this place, which meant that its action would not be discovered. It did not expect its action to be so smooth. It's all because that human is too stupid. He doesn't know that the strongest fortress is usually breached from the inside. The Fae said. I didn't expect you to know this too. The malevolent crow demon bird was surprised. If the Fae had not been by its side, it would have thought that it had been replaced. What do you mean? Are you looking down on me? Everyone in the Fae clan knows that I'm the real wise one. It's just that sometimes great wisdom appears to be stupidity. The Fae was dissatisfied. All right. Let's go in and kidnap the senior officers inside. The malevolent crow demon bird flapped its wings. It was not interested in talking to the Fae anymore. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The two primordial species quietly sneaked in. According to their lightning retribution realm strength, even if most of their magic power was sealed, such a divine ability was still amazing. Even a transcendence realm expert wouldn't be able to discover them. After a few breaths, the Fae and the malevolent crow demon bird entered the depths of the manor. At this moment, they saw a little girl in black gothic clothes watering the flowers in the manor. She seemed to be in a good mood and was even humming a song. This little girl was Luna. Haha, it's this little girl. As long as we catch her, we can use her to threaten Wuxia. The malevolent crow demon bird was extremely excited. Leave it to me. Such a little girl is a piece of cake. The Fae volunteered to take advantage of this opportunity to make a contribution. Who's there? Suddenly Luna, who was in black gothic clothes, turned around. She sensed two auras breaking into her manor and immediately noticed the Fae and the malevolent crow demon bird hiding in the dark. What? The malevolent crow demon bird and the Fae, who were still proud of themselves, immediately felt their hair stand on end. They felt a horrible aura of death, killing, devouring, emptiness, ferocity, and so on from this little girl. It was as if this little body contained an extremely terrible ferocious aura, which was the peak of all killing creatures. This kind of violent killing aura was enough to destroy the souls of most creatures. Just standing there, the two primordial descendants were so scared that their bodies trembled. This was like a terrifying existence standing at the top of the food chain, a predator of all creatures. They also saw Luna's black eyes and immediately went crazy. Those were definitely not eyes, but a dark hell, as if there were countless devils, ghosts, and demons imprisoned in it. There seemed to be countless ghosts imprisoned in the depths of the pupils, constantly wailing in pain and emitting a crazy aura. This little body was simply like a collection of all sins. The dark aura on her body was like the sin of the abyss, which could pollute this world. Run quickly. This is a monster, a real monster. Even the 10 primordial fierce beasts are nothing more than this. The malevolent crow demon bird was scared to the point of peeing. It was also a kind of primordial fierce beast, the kind that killed people like scything flax. However, in front of this creature, it immediately felt that it was so small, as if it would be completely devoured in an instant. Now its intestines were green with regret. Why did it foolishly come here to kidnap? This was not kidnapping, it was clearly courting death. However, it did not expect that Wu Wuti had actually adopted such a horrible dark creature in this manner. Whoosh! The Fae twisted its body, like a divine dragon swinging its tail, and used all its strength to quickly escape into the distance. Damn it, you have no sense of loyalty. The malevolent crow demon bird's face turned green when it saw this scene. Before it could call for retreat, the fat snake had already escaped. Chapter 1932. But it was too late. Luna had already discovered the existence of these 2 primordial remnant species. She gently clapped her hand, and a terrifying palm force blasted over, as if it was tearing the space apart. With over 100 million dependents assisting her in her cultivation, Luna's strength was improving rapidly every day. She advanced a level almost every day. Even Xia Ping did not know what level Luna had reached. Furthermore, Luna was an extremely vicious beast that had been created. She was a true monster, and this little bit of power she had was only recovering. She was far from her peak. Dong, dong. With just one palm, the Fae and the dark demon bird were both sent flying. A terrifying force exploded in their bodies, and they flew backward like meteors. In an instant, they were sent flying hundreds of millions of kilometers, and finally smashed into a mountain. Phew, I'm a little sleepy. After doing some stretching exercises, Luna stretched herself. Feeling a little sleepy, she went back to her room and lay on her stomach to sleep. To her, she had just swatted away a few flies. As for whether they died or not, she did not care at all. On a mountain hundreds of millions of kilometers away, the 2 primordial remnant species, the Fae and the dark demon bird, could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. There was a look of horror in the depths of their eyes. Their internal organs had been seriously injured. The palm just now was extremely dangerous. Fortunately, they had thick skin and flesh, and had the bloodline of primordial fierce beasts. Otherwise, that palm would have been enough to smash them into powder. But even so, they were seriously injured. Almost all the bones in their bodies were broken, and they could only recover a little of their combat strength. Oh my god, where did that little girl come from? Why is she so terrifying? Is she Wu Wuti's senior cadre? Why does she look even more terrifying than Wu Wuti? The Fae was terrified. I remember now. Such a terrifying aura of darkness and sin. That little girl must be the legendary corpse beast, the dark demon bird suddenly shouted, recognizing Luna's identity. Corpse beast? What kind of creature is that? The Fae did not know much about this. I once learned some information about Wu Wuti. He once went to Dragonwood Planet, where many sages of the Western universe imprisoned an immortal and most evil creature, the corpse beast. The baleful crow demonic bird's body was trembling. But that guy rescued the zombie beast from the seal, and as a result, he incurred the wrath of many of the Western cosmos powers and sages, and was pursued ferociously. But I didn't expect him to actually release the zombie beasts and turn them into his high-level cadres. They even have their own sentience now. Who exactly is this Wu Wuti? It immediately became suspicious of Wu Wuti's identity. It did not know what kind of terrifying background he had. What did you say? That's the zombie beast. It's immortal and indestructible. Even sages can't kill it. It's a monster that can only be sealed and imprisoned. Just now, we actually wanted to kidnap it. Even though the Fae had a big heart, it was still scared out of its wits. That was a terrifying existence that even the sages couldn't do anything to. It was called the most evil creature by the sages. They actually dared to kidnap people. Their guts were simply too fat. If the patriarchs of the Archaic Alliance were here, they would all praise them for their courage. The baleful crow demonic bird's hair also stood on end. The ignorant were truly fearless. Fortunately, that monster didn't pay much attention to their existence. Otherwise, they would have died with just a little more force. Well, let's not provoke this monster. Let's find a place to hide and recuperate first. The baleful crow demonic bird said helplessly. There's a good cave over there. We can temporarily hide and rest. Maybe that monster won't catch up so quickly. The Fae pointed to a hidden cave in front of them. Whoosh whoosh. Without hesitation, the two dragged their exhausted bodies toward the cave. They wanted to temporarily rest and recover from their injuries. Why is there a huge egg here? What exactly is it? As soon as they entered the cave, the Fae immediately noticed that there was a huge white egg in the cave. It blinked its eyes, feeling that this egg was very extraordinary. It emitted a mysterious and noble aura. Retreat, retreat quickly. The knowledgeable baleful crow demonic bird saw this egg and immediately wet its pants. It screamed, "Fuck, this is Gaia, a member of the Gaia clan. She's in seclusion. Stupid snake, you must not wake her up. This is a terrifying existence. Otherwise we're dead." Whoosh. The Fae was scared out of its wits. It flapped its wings and flew out of the cave. It was simply risking its life. Even though it was injured, it still used all its strength to survive. The Fae also ran with all its might, not daring to stop. This time they ran for hundreds of millions of kilometers. Only when they were completely far away from the cave did they feel relieved. Damn, what's going on? Why does Gaia exist in this place? This is too strange. The Fae's face turned green. Even if it didn't care about worldly affairs, it knew how terrifying the Gaia clan was. It could be said to be the pinnacle race in the universe. It could also be called the strongest race. When they reached adulthood, they would be saints with an endless lifespan. If it wasn't for the Gaia clan's temperament, their small numbers, and their habit of sleeping, who knew how many territories they would have ruled? Who knows what's going on? What kind of existence is that Wu Wuti? Why does he have Gaia under him? Is Gaia also his high-ranking cadre? The baleful crow demonic bird's face was very ugly. At first, it thought that this was just an ordinary place. But after breaking out of the prison, it realized how terrifying this space was. Impossible. He can even capture Gaia? The Fae felt very guilty. But after thinking about it carefully, this kid even dared to capture Gaia. It was no wonder that he wasn't afraid of offending the Primordial Alliance. In any case, we can't go back to that place. Fortunately, Gaia is sleeping now. If we wake it up, we'll be finished. The baleful crow demonic bird rejoiced. It can't be. I heard that the Gaia clan is peaceful and won't easily kill people. The Fae swallowed hard. What a joke. There are so many Gaia members. How do you know that every Gaia member has a mild personality? It's not like there aren't any irascible ones. If we happen to encounter one with an irascible personality, and that person is a high-ranking cadre under Wu Wuti, who knows what kind of education he received? He might just smack us to death on a whim. The baleful crow demon bird said with a solemn expression. You're right. Anyway, we're safe for now. Faye felt that he could finally heave a sigh of relief. What safety? What are you two doing in my territory? Are you trying to steal my food? All of a sudden, a crisp voice sounded from behind the Fae and the dark baleful demon bird. The bodies of the Fae and the dark baleful demonic bird stiffened. They turned around to take a look and their eyes immediately turned white. They were scared out of their wits and passed out. Chapter 1933. Crash. A basin of ice-cold water was mercilessly splashed on the faces of the Fae and the baleful crow demon bird, instantly waking them up from their unconscious state. You're awake. Tao Tai and Tan Menglu curiously looked at the two primordial descendants. Oh my god, it really is a Tauta. It's not a dream. It's over, it's over. I'm going to be eaten. No, I don't want to die. I'm still a virgin. I can't die like this. Save my ancestor. Save us. Where is Wu Wuti? We won't dare to break out of prison again. We won't dare to do it again. Hurry up and bring us back. The Fae and the dark evil demon bird were scared out of their wits. The series of things that happened during the jailbreak today had completely frightened them. Now they felt that the cage was too safe, and there was no sense of crisis at all. Now that they had broken out of the prison, they realized that the outside world was filled with ferocious beasts. It was fine that they had encountered the undying corpse beast that even sages could not kill. There was also Gaia, which was said to be the strongest race in the universe. Now, they had actually encountered the infamous Tao Tai, which was even among the primordial 10 Furies. Even their archaic alliance was extremely fearful of the Tao Tai. They simply didn't dare to associate with it because once the Tao Tai went berserk, no matter how many archaic descendants there were, they would all be devoured. Legend has it that in the primordial era, a large number of primordial descendants were eaten by the Tao Tai and became a first-class protected animal. Now they had all become a rare species. One could imagine the fear these primordial descendants had towards the Tao Tai. It could be said that in terms of savagery and danger, the Tao Tai was absolutely second to none in the primordial 10 vicious beasts. Menglu, what are you doing? Hurry up and come over. I've been waiting for you. I've been thirsting for a long time. This time I'll definitely beat them and ascend to the throne of kings. At this time, a lowly wearing a crown ran out barefoot. Her hair was disheveled and she had dark circles around her eyes. It was as if she hadn't slept for a month. Her whole body exuded a decadent aura. She had been addicted to the game for more than a month. Don't worry, I caught 2 thieves trying to steal my food. Tan Menglu shouted. What? Daring to steal Tao Ye's food? Are you tired of living? Or do you want to be food? Chong Xiaoqian asked curiously. She wanted to see who had the guts to snatch food from the Tao Tai. No, I didn't. We just happened to pass by. We didn't want to be food. Fei and Dark Baleful Demonic Bird repeatedly complained that they were wronged. They were so scared that their hearts trembled, indicating that they did not mean to steal at all. If they were really misunderstood by Tao Tai, they might really be eaten by Tao Tai. They took a closer look and realized Chong Xiaoqian's identity. She was the famous black hole worm. The 2 primordial descendants were shocked to the point of numbness. Even when this powerful race that should have long been extinct in the universe appeared in front of them, it was completely nothing. After all, the previous shock was too great and he had yet to recover. What do you mean passing by? This is the territory of that scoundrel master. You 2 look very unfamiliar. Could it be that master recently caught archaic descendants? Tan Menglu stared at the 2 primordial species. Master. The Fei and Crow Fiend Devil Bird were terrified and their hearts sank. They felt that their chances of getting revenge were slim. Wu Wudi had even subdued the Tao Tai, which was one of the primordial vicious 10. No matter how they thought about it, the most terrifying one was still Wu Wudi. That's right, one of you is Fei and the other is Crow Fiend Devil Bird. I remember my dad said that both of you are good food. Your bodies are huge and you can eat for a day. Tan Menglu saw through the true bodies of the 2 primordial species. Her eyes immediately lit up and she seemed to be drooling. No, we are not food. We are not tasty. We really are not tasty. The Fei and Crow Fiend Devil Bird were so scared that their faces turned green. They did not expect their race to be so famous that they were on the Tao Tai race's menu. This was simply on the death list. Wait, Sister Menglu, don't eat them first. I see that their skin is rough and their flesh is thick. Maybe they can be our servants. Chong Xiaoqian felt that this was a great opportunity, and she was very excited. Because as a king, how could he not have a few loyal lackeys and servants? It was obvious that these 2 primordial species were very powerful, and they were very suitable to be her lackeys. Be servants? Hearing this, Tan Menglu looked at the 2 primordial species and asked, Then let me ask you, what do you 2 know? Can you cook? Can you play games? Cooking? No, we just swallow everything we see when we eat. We don't need to cook. The Fei expressed that its body was huge and sometimes it could even swallow an entire planet. What is playing games? I know how to kill enemies, but I'm the best at burning, killing, and plundering. The Crow Fiend Devil Bird said proudly. Hearing this, Tan Menglu's expression immediately turned gloomy. Seems like the 2 of you should just be food. You don't even know how to play games and you don't even know how to cook. What's the point of taking you 2? She felt that it was better to eat the 2 primordial species. No, I know how to play games. I'm very good at it. The Fei hurriedly said. I also know how to cook. Any dish is fine. I'm proficient in everything. The Crow Fiend Devil Bird was so scared that it peed its pants. Regardless of whether it knew how to cook or not, it had to first bluff and avoid this disaster. Is that so? Why did you say that you don't know anything just now? Tan Menglu said doubtfully. We were just being humble just now. I didn't expect you to take it seriously. The Fei and the Crow Fiend Devil Bird said guiltily. Alright, it seems like the 2 of you still have some use. You don't need to be food for now. Just be our servants and take care of our daily lives. Tan Menglu also felt that with servants taking care of her, she might not even need to get out of bed. She could live a decadent life with food and clothes. Menglu, ignore these 2 servants. Hurry up and go online. There's a bastard who keeps taunting us. He brought his lackeys to kill me at the revival point 2 or 3 times. That bastard's level isn't as high as mine. He's just relying on the fact that he bought a godly weapon in the game shop. He's so arrogant that there's no end to his arrogance. He even wants to destroy our city. This time we must beat him up. Chong Xiaoqian said angrily. What? There's actually such a thing? He's too daring. Charge money, immediately buy equipment and beat him up. Tan Menglu was instantly enraged. She was born with a bad temper and was not to be trifled with. How could she endure such provocation? She and Chong Xiaoqian quickly ran back to the valley to settle the score with those guys. Brother Crow Fiend, what do we do now? Should we run away? Being with Tao Tai is like being with a tiger, the Fae said while trembling. It was afraid that Tao Tai would eat it if it was unhappy. Run. Where are you going? Do you want to go back to the cage? This place is filled with danger. We don't know how many terrifying creatures there are. It's better to stay here for now. We'll decide after we understand the situation here. The Crow Fiend Devil Bird no longer wanted to run. It was so scared that its heart had turned cold. If they ran out and encountered another terrifying creature, they would really be dead. Chapter 1934. Time flew by and a month had passed in a flash. Xia Ping had also cultivated for about a month. He had completely consolidated his cultivation and quickly digested all the energy of the phoenix blood, integrating it into his limbs and bones. Because of the huge amount of energy, his dermic power had also increased. He had advanced to the peak of the middle stage transcendence realm, only one step away from the late stage transcendence realm. Now, his dermic power was also much stronger than before. However, the number of golden crow cells in his body had not increased by much. It was still 95 million. The phoenix blood had temporarily exhausted all the energy to stimulate the awakening of the golden crow cells. Of course, this was also because Xia Ping had suppressed the awakening of the golden crow cells. After all, he could not face the heavenly tribulation now. However, during this time he had not only condensed his dermic power, but also learned a martial Dao divine power obtained from the disciple of the Holy Land of Taichu, Majestic Killing Fist. Although he had many martial Dao divine powers, it was not a bad thing to learn one martial Dao divine power. As the saying went, it was not a bad thing to have more skills. Moreover, he had countless incarnations and needed various means to hide his true appearance. Let's see how powerful the Majestic Killing Fist is. Xia Ping's figure flashed and appeared in a vast desert in the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. There was no one around, and he began to use the divine power he had just learned, Majestic Killing Fist. After this month, he had completely mastered this divine power. In fact, he had learned too many peerless divine powers, and the Majestic Killing Fist was only one of them. He made rapid progress and soon mastered it. In an instant, Xia Ping used the fist technique on this land. Thousands of golden fist prints appeared in the air, and there seemed to be an heirloom imperial jade seal in the depths of the golden fist prints, exuding an unparalleled majestic killing fist. Dong. This fist smashed hard on the ground, creating a deep pit with a diameter of thousands of kilometers. The violent majestic killing fist instantly eroded the ground into a golden color, as if it had turned into gold. Even this power continued to penetrate the earth, penetrating hundreds of kilometers underground and penetrating the underground water veins. A large amount of water gushed out from the ground, turning this place into a lake. The nearby pile of sand was turned into ashes under the terrifying majestic killing fist. Compared with the killing fist of the Way of the King that the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu had displayed before, there was no doubt that Xia Ping's fist force was much more terrifying. If one had to compare, the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu was just a small king under a vassal state, in danger of being destroyed at any time. On the other hand, Xia Ping was the true emperor of a super empire. He had hundreds of millions of soldiers and horses under his command, and the aura he contained was boundlessly terrifying. This kind of difference was simply indescribable. The reason why the gap was so huge was not that Xia Ping had a thorough understanding of the killing fist of the Way of the Monarch. It was purely because his power and strength were much stronger than that of the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu. It was just like the difference in the strength of a country. One country had a lot of soldiers and a vast territory, while the other was short of soldiers and a small territory. Even though they were both kings, the difference in strength was too great. They couldn't be compared at all. Master. With a whoosh, the green ox appeared in front of Xia Ping. Oh, it's the green ox. Xia Ping retracted his aura and looked at the green ox. How is it? How's the cultivation of those sacred herbs? It's perfect. It has survived. Master, you can go take a look. Speaking of the sacred herbs, the green ox was also very excited and led the way. Soon, Xia Ping arrived at the medicine field where the purple lightning flower was. He saw that this medicine field covered a radius of thousands of kilometers. The green ox had set up a thunder array to communicate with the thunder dimension. And the core of this large array was the purple lightning flower. A huge amount of thunder energy poured down, covering the sky and the earth. Thunder and lightning were everywhere, as if forming a sea of thunder. The huge amount of thunder energy was quickly refined by this large array and turned into thunder liquid. If a cultivator who was proficient in thunder cultivation methods came to this place to cultivate, he would definitely make rapid progress, benefit a lot, and absorb endless thunder essence. There was also a medicine field next to it. That was where the 5-element vines were, covering a radius of 3,000 kilometers. The 5-element vines grew, and thick vines covered this area, as if it had turned into a vine-like forest world, lush and full of vitality. At the same time, this forest area was also divided into 5 major areas: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. It absorbed rich elements of the 5 elements, making this place a place suitable for cultivating the 5 elements cultivation methods. The green ox also set up a 5-element spirit gathering formation here, assisting in absorbing the 5 elements in the depths of the void, making the essence chi in this place even denser. If other spiritual herbs were to be planted here, they would also have complementary effects. Not bad. Seeing this, Xiaoping's eyes lit up, feeling very satisfied. If he had refined these few sacred herbs, he probably wouldn't have such an effect. With these sacred herbs as the core, he set up many large arrays, turning them into special medicine fields. This was the way to maximize the benefits of the sacred herbs, and he would be able to continuously obtain great benefits. Apart from the 5-element vines and the purple lightning flower, the other sacred herbs were also set up by the green ox. For example, the void grass was a special sacred herb that grew in the depths of the void, absorbing void energy to grow. Therefore, it was given to the many black hole worms to take care of. To them, the void grass was considered a daily supplement. Usually, this grass would grow near the cave abode they lived in. However, the void grass that reached the level of a sacred herb was still relatively rare. Therefore, these black hole worms were very happy to accept the task of taking care of the void grass. They also planned to continue to let the void grass reproduce and grow a large grassland formed by the void grass. Beep! At this moment, Xiaoping's communication device rang. It was a call from the sect leader Zhu Xian. He immediately picked it up. "Sect leader, what's the matter?" Xiaoping asked. "I've already told you before that you'll be in charge of presiding over the trial of the new disciples. This time, you'll act together with a few elders to protect the new disciples in case of any accidents." Sect leader Zhu Xian said. "Understood, I'll go over right now." Xiaoping also immediately remembered what the sect leader had mentioned before. He had already grown to the level of an elder, so he should also contribute to the sect to a certain extent. Swoosh. He gave a few words to the green ox and encouraged it to continue working hard. Then, his figure flashed and he left the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. Chapter 1935. Hi. Xiaoping's figure flashed and immediately appeared in front of Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi. He greeted them. "Where are you guys going now?" He looked at the 4 of them, sizing them up. After not seeing them for a long time, Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi had become even more charming. They had the temperament of a sect's saintess, unreachable. If they were to walk outside, who knew how many male disciples would feel ashamed of their inferiority and not dare to look them in the eye. Participating in the new disciple trial. Currently heading to the main hall. Jianghu replied. "New disciple trial?" Xiaoping blinked his eyes. He suddenly recalled this matter. Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi seemed to have only joined the Jianghu sect for a few years. They could also be considered new disciples. Therefore they also needed to participate in this trial. As for Su Mei, Nangong Wu, and Qiushu, because they joined the Jianghu sect as Xiaoping's maidservants, they didn't have many obligations and didn't need to participate in this trial. "Alright, what about you? Are you also going to participate in the trial?" Su Ji asked curiously. She hadn't seen Xiaoping for a long time. After all, this guy appeared and disappeared like a ghost, running all over the universe. Who knew how many bad things he had done? "Yes, my goal is the same as yours. However, I'm not here to participate in the trial, but to supervise it. After all, who asked me to be an elder? Sai, the greater the power, the greater the responsibility." Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back, a smug look on his face. After all, who would have thought that in just a few short years, he would go from a disciple to an elder, from a candidate to an invigilator. Continue acting. The corner of Chu Rong's mouth twitched. She had the urge to beat this bastard up. Hee hee. Yu Qiqi chuckled and clenched her fists as if she couldn't hold it in any more. "Oh right, how's your cultivation recently?" Xiaoping asked casually. "Bitch." Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi gnashed their teeth in anger. They knew that this bastard was purposely saying this to show off and provoke them. "Not much. I just advanced to the late stage of the treasure refining realm. Jianghu gritted his teeth. Only at the late stage of the treasure refining realm? Not bad, not bad. His cultivation speed was hard to come by. It wasn't as good as the best, but it was better than the worst. If you continue to work hard, you still have a bright future ahead of you. Maybe you'll even have a chance to catch up to me. Xia Ping displayed the demeanor of an elder, giving pointers and encouragement to the younger generation disciples. Not as good as the top but better than the bottom. Hearing these words, Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi became more and more sullen. Among all the new disciples they could be counted as the top geniuses and countless people worshipped them. But in this bastard's words, it was more than enough. Although they were indeed not as abnormal as Xia Ping, they were still filled with anger when they heard this bastard say such cocky words. Alright, you guys work hard. Maybe in the future, you guys will have the opportunity to stand on the same stage as me. Xia Ping said cockily. After throwing down these words he left. Damn it. This is too infuriating. What is this bastard trying to do? Are you deliberately provoking us? Su Ji clenched her fist, wanting to rush up and beat this bastard Xia Ping into a pig's head. He's obviously showing off. After becoming an elder, he's become boundlessly arrogant. Yu Qiqi was also furious. She hadn't seen this hateful human for so many days, but he was still so infuriating. He looked like he deserved a beating. We must work hard in our cultivation. We can't let this bastard look down on us. Jianghu gritted his teeth. That's right. Sooner or later we'll catch up to this guy. At that time, let's see how he can still be so cocky. Chu Rong was also furious. She had never seen such a stingy man. He was obviously an elder, but he was still showing off in front of them, the new disciples. Sure enough, no matter how high this guy became in the martial way, he was still a bastard without any grace. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. They didn't stop and quickly flew toward the sect's main hall. Not long after, the four of them arrived at the main hall. At this moment, there was already a dense crowd of new disciples gathered in the main hall, neatly arranged according to their respective areas. They also saw sect leader Zhu Xian and a dozen or so elders standing on the stage. Xia Ping was among them. That bastard was still standing in the middle of the stage with his hands behind his back, insufferably arrogant. But when the new disciples below the stage saw Xia Ping standing in the middle of the stage, they were incomparably fanatical and excited, as if they had seen a super idol. My God, is that senior brother Xia Ping? I finally see him in person. It's said that he's only been in the Jianghu sect for a few years, but he's already reached the law phase realm, becoming an elder. He's now the examiner of the new disciples in charge of the trial's safety. It can't be right? Only entered for a few years? Doesn't that mean he's not much older than us? He's so young yet he's already reached this level. He's truly monstrous. If he's given a bit more time, won't he become a sage? That's to be expected. It's said that when senior brother Xia entered the sect, he shocked everyone in the Jianghu sect. Even the Dark North Saint, who had never accepted a disciple, appeared in person to recruit him as a disciple. This event shocked the Eastern universe back then. And senior brother Xia didn't let down the Dark North Saint's expectations. He made rapid progress, surpassed all his peers in a short time, and even reached the level of an elder. It's said that the Holy Land of Taichu from the Central Universe also sent a few disciples to the assessment. They overestimated themselves and tried to make things difficult for senior brother Xia. They didn't expect that senior brother Xia would beat them so badly that they're still lying in the hospital. It's too exaggerated. Isn't it said that the Holy Land of Taichu is the holy land of the human race, and any disciple who comes out of it is a genius, and we, the disciples of the saint-level sects, are no match for them at all? I can only say that it's a bit exaggerated, or that senior brother Xia is so monstrous that even the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu can't catch up to him. Who in the world can beat him? Be a man like senior brother Xia. If I had 1/10 of senior brother Xia's ability, I would probably be able to sweep away my peers. Many disciples of the Jianghu sect talked about it, looking at Xia Ping with great admiration. If it weren't for the fact that the sect leader and the elders were here, they would probably have rushed up and asked for Xia Ping's autograph. Xia Ping's various deeds, although not many, were all earth-shattering. This also made him the idol of many disciples of the Jianghu sect, a goal to pursue. Chapter 1936. Some of the male disciples were filled with admiration and fanaticism, but many of the female disciples looked at Xia Ping with lustful gazes. They were like tigresses that wanted to swallow Xia Ping whole. This is senior brother Xia? He is so handsome. Being handsome is just one of his strengths. The most important thing is that he is talented. At first, I didn't understand why women like talented men. But now I understand. How many talented men are poor? Senior brother Xia is different. Not only is he talented, he is also rich. I heard that he has a high chance of becoming a sage. Sage? My God, if I marry senior brother Xia, wouldn't I become the wife of a sage? Once I become the wife of a sage, I will be able to ascend to the heavens. That's right. Even if I can't become a sage in the future, I can easily live for 100,000 years by staying by his side. As for other benefits, there is no need to talk about it. So I really want to stick to senior brother Xia and sleep in his broad embrace. That's right. If I can have a baby with senior brother Xia with my talent and his talent, how strong would his talent be? He might even give birth to a second sage. Hee hee, the number of women who want to stick to senior brother Xia can fill up an entire galaxy. You are not one of them. The pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. We are all heaven and earth sect disciples, but we are very close to senior brother Xia. We are not like those wild bees and butterflies outside. Alright, I wonder where we can meet senior brother Xia. I heard that senior brother Xia often stays in Yellow Flame Peak to cultivate and rarely goes out. That's right. Only by working so hard can one have such achievements. I like senior brother Xia more and more. Why don't we run to Yellow Flame Peak and meet senior brother Xia? We can take off our clothes and bathe there. Maybe we can seduce him. I'm shameless. But this seems like a good idea. Many beautiful female disciples giggled. Although they sounded like they were joking, their tone contained a trace of seriousness. It seemed like they were really considering how to attack Xia Ping at night and create a chance encounter. This group of shameless bastards. Su Ji clenched her teeth and said. Hearing these words, she felt ashamed to be associated with them. Her face and ears turned red. As a woman, she didn't even have the slightest bit of modesty. She actually wanted to attack a man in the middle of the night, stripped naked to seduce him, shameless to the extreme. That's right. What's so good about that guy? He actually needs a night attack. Yu Chi-Chi spat. Humph, they're just a bunch of greedy and vain women. They think that they can change their status by marrying a good husband. Who would fall for such a woman? They must be daydreaming. Chu Rong said in disdain. Don't worry about them. They don't work hard and only know how to rely on men. If they're abandoned by a man one day, let's see what they'll do, said Jiang Yaru disdainfully. Suddenly, a disciple shouted, Senior brother Xia, can we ask you a few questions? Ask away, feel free to speak your mind. Xia Ping stood on the stage with his hands behind his back. The other elders didn't stop him. In fact, they were also very interested in Xia Ping's answers. After all, Xia Ping was really too mysterious. He often cultivated and rarely came into contact with the other elders of the sect. Senior brother Xia, I remember when you first entered the sect, you were only at the Purple Palace realm. But in just a few years, you've already reached the Transcendence realm. Is there some secret to your cultivation? That disciple asked curiously. Many people pricked up their ears to listen. They were also very curious about Xia Ping's cultivation experience. The secret is very simple. That is to take pills. Take them to your death. The more pills you take, the better it is. It's best if you can find some sacred pills. That way you'll be able to improve at lightning speed. Xia Ping told them his method of improving at lightning speed. The mouths of the elders twitched. Nonsense, it was all nonsense. Who didn't know that taking pills was the best way to improve their magic power? But where would they have so much money to buy pills? Moreover, it was best if they could find sacred pills. If sacred pills were really that easy to find, then there would be Almighty Thunder Tribulation Realm experts everywhere in the universe. After all, sacred pills were treasures that even Almighty Thunder Tribulation Realm experts coveted. They were known as treasures passed down from generation to generation. How could it be so easy to find them? Some people had never seen them in their entire lives. Many disciples were speechless and didn't know how to answer. That person continued to ask, All right, Senior Brother Xia, since you've taken so many pills, I wonder which pill should we choose to buy with the best effect? What kind of pill? Can't we just buy all of them? What choice do we need? Xia Ping said carelessly. This damn nouveau riche. Many elders' foreheads were filled with black lines. They felt that they could no longer talk to this kid. They were on a completely different level. They were poor and couldn't imagine what the world of the nouveau riche was like. The eyes of the group of female disciples were filled with hearts. They had no resistance against this kind of nouveau riche. He would buy everything he liked. What kind of wealth did he have? Senior brother Xia, we all understand what you said, but we don't have much money. What should we do? Someone continued to ask. If you don't have money, can't you just go to the bank to withdraw it? Why don't you have money? Xia Ping was very confused. He felt that not having money was an inconceivable thing. There was a lot of money in the bank and they could withdraw it any time they wanted. There was no way to talk at all. The group of elders gnashed their teeth. They all had the urge to beat someone up. What kind of words was this bastard saying? Could rich people be so unbridled and squander money as they pleased? What did he mean by withdrawing money from the bank? If they had money in the bank, would they still be considered poor? Truthfully speaking, if their bank deposits were seen by criminals, they would all cry. Senior brother, we are not rich second generations like you. There's no money in the bank that we can't finish spending. We just want to find some ways to earn money. It's best if we can earn so much money that we can't finish spending it. A disciple asked honestly. So that's the case. You should have said so earlier. This is actually very simple. Xia Ping was enlightened. Just go and take risks. Just go to any universe secret realm and you will notice many treasures appearing in front of you. This feeling is like picking up money. Feels really good. Senior brother, why is our adventure different from yours? The group of disciples was stunned. What's the difference? It's the same. Xia Ping said carelessly, taking risks is the fastest way to make money in this world. Go to any place and you'll find two forces fighting fiercely. In the end, they both perish together. The treasures left on their bodies as well as the secret treasures they're fighting over will all belong to you. You'll be the fisherman who reaps the benefits. It doesn't matter if you get lost. Just follow your instincts and move forward. You'll find a mystic realm that no one has ever discovered before. There are large amounts of spirit herbs and rare ores growing there. There's money everywhere. Chapter 1937. Senior brother, the situation I encountered was different from yours. Sometimes, when two forces were fighting, they would kill me when they saw me. They would chase me for 9 streets before fighting for the treasures. A disciple said that he had accidentally fallen into a fierce battle between two forces, but he didn't get any benefits. Instead, he was treated as an enemy and chased for a long time, almost dying. He still had lingering fears when he thought of this. That's right. I got lost in a secret realm before and found a random path. However, I didn't see any treasures. Instead, I saw a terrifying monster. I accidentally entered the monster's nest and was chased by the monster. If not for the elders' timely rescue, I would be dead now. I didn't find any treasures at all. Someone said that getting lost in a secret realm was a rather dangerous thing. If one wasn't careful, they would enter the monster's nest and be chased by these terrifying monsters, becoming their food. Usually, countless people who got lost were killed by the monsters, not even leaving a corpse behind. There was a senior brother Lu who was chased by monsters in a secret realm. He also fell off a cliff. Although he had treasures to protect him, he was heavily injured. Both his legs were broken and more than 300 bones were shattered. There was nothing at the bottom of the cliff, only weeds and rocks. He climbed for a month before coming out. He suffered heavy losses. There were also people who said that falling off a cliff shouldn't be imitated. Otherwise, their lives would be frozen in the water. If they were lucky, they would break their legs. If they were unlucky, they would die. There's actually such a thing? Is exploring a universe secret realm so dangerous? Xia Ping said in surprise. That's right, senior brother Xia. Exploring a universe secret realm is extremely dangerous. It's definitely not like what you said, where you can pick up treasures casually and get rich even if you get lost. Less than 1 out of 10 people can get rich. The death rate is extremely high. Every time we explore, we risk our lives. We can only dream of encountering a saint's inheritance. We've never even picked up a piece of steel from the ground, let alone picking up treasures after falling off a cliff. Many disciples complained and looked at Xia Ping with a strange expression. Hearing this, the elders and sect leader Zhu Xian were speechless. They finally understood why Xia Ping was able to improve so quickly. Fuck, this bastard picked up treasures every time he went out. When he fought with others, he was able to reap the benefits. When he fell off a cliff, he was able to obtain a sage's inheritance. When he was lost, he was able to discover a new secret realm. How was this a human? He was simply a child of destiny. His luck was simply heaven-defying. But why was there such a huge gap between them? God was really too unfair. They looked at Xia Ping with jealousy, and their eyes almost turned green. Senior brother, do you have any other methods that are sure to make a profit without sowing? Someone asked. There is. I've been using this method. Xiaoping said seriously, first you have to deposit 50 billion universe dollars into the universe bank. It's a fixed deposit and the bank will give you 5% interest every year. This way you'll be able to earn 5 billion universe dollars every year. In the future you can squander it however you want, no matter what pill or elixir you want. Don't you think this method is good and practical? All the disciples were dumbfounded. They felt that it was very reasonable and could not refute it at all. This was indeed a way to reap without sowing. Cough cough, alright, let's end the idle chatter here. At this moment, sect leader Zhu Xian spoke. He coughed and directly stopped the conversation. He couldn't let this despicable nouveau riche Xiaoping, the child of destiny, harm the disciples of the sect. If they really listened to this bastard's words, wouldn't there be many more people in the sect who reap without sowing? There was no way to replicate this guy's situation. He opened his mouth and said, "Alright, all the new disciples have arrived. Let's cut the crap and head to the trial ground immediately. I wish everyone good luck and prosperity." The moment his words ended, a huge teleportation array appeared on the square. It spanned 3,000 kilometers and flashed with light. The surroundings were filled with dense spatial energy. A dazzling white light flashed and covered the entire world. It instantly enveloped all the disciples on the square, as well as over 10 elders. Following that, they disappeared from Jianghu's star. Boom! Immediately, many Jianghu sect disciples felt the world spin. It was as if they had passed through endless space. In the next second, they felt that their feet were stepping on a solid black ground. Obviously, they knew that they had been teleported to a strange land, which might be the trial ground. Congratulations, you have arrived at the demonic continent number 333333. After a while, when the disciples of other sects have arrived, we will immediately start the trial of the demonic abyss. An elder's voice came out and passed into the ears of every disciple. Many disciples looked around and found that this continent was filled with a strong demonic aura. The sky was dim and seemed to be wrapped in a layer of gray mist. There was no sunlight all year round. Moreover, this continent was full of deathly stillness. There were no signs of human habitation at all. There was not even a blade of grass. It was bare everywhere. There were broken walls and potholes everywhere. It could also be seen that this continent had experienced an extremely tragic war, which almost caused the whole continent to collapse. Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi also noticed the situation. This is the demonic continent? The Abyss World? It is said that we haven't entered the Abyss World yet. This is just a piece of land at the entrance. Demonic continent number 333333? Are there many such lands in the universe? It might be. These sealed lands are all over the universe, and are suppressed and guarded by countless sections. This is really incredible. This place is really too ominous. It is very uncomfortable. It is filled with the smell of death everywhere. It is definitely not a place that the living can stay for long. Look, the disciples of other sects have also arrived. Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi had also learned some information from their master. It could be said that they had a certain level of understanding of this time's demonic abyss trial. At this time, not long after the disciples of Jianghu sect arrived, the disciples of Lingyun sect, Five Elements sect, Guiyuan sect, Flying Immortal sect, and the other sects also took the teleportation array and quickly arrived. Are they here? Xiaoping didn't pay attention to the other sections. Instead, he looked at one of them, Lingyun sect. There was no other reason for him to pay attention to Lingyun sect. It was because he and Yi Mengyao hadn't seen each other since that night. If she also came to this place for this trial, he didn't know how to face her. Chapter 1938. The elders of the Lingyun sect, the Five Elements sect, the Guiyuan sect, and the Flying Immortal sect arrived. They immediately saw Xiaoping, who was staying in the Heaven and Earth sect. Their eyes immediately lit up and they immediately came over. After all, they were very interested in Xiaoping, who had defeated a disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu and was in the limelight. Putting aside the fact that Xiaoping might become a sage in the future, even now, Xiaoping was still a Transcendence Realm mighty figure. He was on equal footing with them and held great authority. Even if he didn't try to curry favor with such a person, he had to at least get to know him. Even if he couldn't become a friend, he definitely couldn't become an enemy. You must be fellow Taoists, Xia. You're young and promising. I've heard a lot about you. To be able to reach such a level of martial arts cultivation at such a young age, it's really enviable. It is said that fellow Xia plans to go to the Holy Land of Taichu. Given your cultivation and aptitude, you must be one of the best even in the Holy Land of Taichu. If our sect's disciples had even a 10,000th of fellow Daoixia's demeanor, then our sect would have no worries. The elders of the Lingyun sect, the Five Elements sect, the Guiyuan sect, and the Flying Celestial sect came up to greet him and compliment him. You're too polite. Actually, I'm just an ordinary person. Apart from my invincible strength, no one can beat me. Besides, I'm also a fan of tens of thousands of people. It's not a big deal, Xiaoping said casually. Hearing this, the elders' lips twitched. For some reason they had the urge to beat someone up. However, after exchanging a few pleasantries, Xiaoping was no longer interested in chatting with these elders. He looked directly at a chubby middle-aged female elder from the Lingyun sect and asked, "How come I don't see senior sister Yi Mengyao this time? Did she not participate? Are you pregnant and nurturing the fetus in the sect?" He voiced out his doubts. What pregnant? Don't talk nonsense. Junior Martial Sister Yi is still a virgin. How could she be pregnant? Where on earth did you hear such a rumor? The middle-aged female elder was very angry. She felt that these words were slandering the Lingyun sect's reputation. Oh, then what is senior sister Yi doing? Xiaoping asked curiously. Nothing much. I'm just preparing for my tribulation. The middle-aged female elder was very pleased with herself, incomparably proud. Tribulation? Could it be that fellow Taoist Yi Mengyao has already advanced to the Thunder Tribulation realm? When an elder of the Five Elements sect heard these words, he simply couldn't believe his ears. Unbelievable. She has only cultivated for a few hundred years, yet she has already advanced to the Thunder Retribution realm. How is it so fast? The Guiyuan sect elder was extremely depressed. He had cultivated for thousands of years, but he was only at the early stage of the Transcendence realm. However, a little girl who was only a few hundred years old had already advanced to the Lightning Tribulation realm and was about to undergo tribulation. Why was there such a huge gap between people? Previously, I thought that fellow Taoist Yi Mengyao was a rare genius that only appeared once in 10,000 years and had a high chance of advancing to the Saint realm. I didn't expect that she would reach this realm so quickly. This is too amazing. The Flying Immortal sect elder sighed. Among the cultivators of the same generation, there was no one who could be compared to Yi Mengyao. He felt a little resentful towards his own sect's disciples for failing to meet his expectations. Now, all of them had been defeated by Lingyun's sect. It's alright, it's alright. It's all thanks to junior sister Ye's hard work and the sect's meticulous nurturing. Otherwise, how could she have achieved what she has today? Hearing these compliments, the middle-aged female elder was extremely pleased. Alright, let's stop chatting here. Next, we will be opening the door to the Abyss realm and holding the trial for the new disciples. The Heaven and Earth sect elder started talking about serious matters. However, the trial this time is a little different from the previous one. Oh, what's different? Xiaoping asked. Previously, when you participated in the trial, you encountered the attack of the Abyss fiendish demons. This group of fiendish demons actually used an array to deceive the perception of the Tianji ranking. If it wasn't for your good luck, I'm afraid all the new disciples would have been annihilated. Such a thing absolutely cannot happen again and again. The Heaven and Earth sect elder said seriously. The elders of Lingyun sect, Five Elements sect, Guiyuan sect, and Flying Immortal sect nodded as well. To them, every new disciple represented the future hope of their sect. Although they hoped that these new disciples could grow rapidly through the cruel trial, they didn't want to be killed by those fiendish demons before they could grow. This wouldn't be a trial but just sending them to their deaths. Then what should we do? Xiaoping asked. Very simple. Our Heaven and Earth sect, Lingyun sect, Five Elements sect, Guiyuan sect, and Flying Immortal sect will each send an elder into the Abyss realm as an observer. The Heaven and Earth sect elder said solemnly, in that case, even if those fiendish demons come up with some scheme to deceive the perception of the Tianji ranking, we will immediately discover it with an observer. What happened previously won't happen again. I see. Xiaoping nodded. Sending 5 elders into the Abyss realm to constantly monitor the situation of the trial was indeed a good method. It could avoid unpredictable dangers to the greatest extent. Junior Brother Xia, this time, you will represent our Heaven and Earth sect to enter the Abyss realm and be in charge of monitoring the situation of the trial. The Heaven and Earth sect elder gave Xiaoping a mission. The other Heaven and Earth sect elders immediately heaved a sigh of relief. This was considered a tough job. After all, staying in the Abyss realm wasn't good. They would be corroded by the abyssal demonic aura at all times. It was like ordinary people living in a world of nuclear radiation. It was extremely uncomfortable. Moreover, they had to stay in there for a month. No problem. Xia Ping agreed immediately. Even if they didn't assign him to enter the Abyss Realm this time, he would sneak in. This was because the Abyss Realm might be an extremely dangerous place for ordinary people. However, for Xia Ping, who had the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline, it was simply his backyard. If he could kill a large number of fiendish demons, not only could he harvest the enormous soul energy of these fiendish demons, but he could also seize large amounts of the fiendish demon's essence and flesh. Most importantly, he could also use this opportunity to unseal 100 million Golden Crow of Hell cells in his body. He could directly trigger the heavenly tribulation and take the opportunity to transcend it. This is a spirit talisman. The Heaven and Earth sect elder took out a golden talisman. At a critical moment, you can tear this spirit talisman and immediately be teleported out of the Abyss Realm. If there are no accidents after the trial ends, you can also tear this spirit talisman. At that time, you can also come out of the Abyss Realm. This is a very important thing. Please take good care of it. Yes. Xia Ping took the golden talisman from the elder. The other sects had also chosen their observers to enter the Abyss Realm. An hour later, the trial for the new disciples began. The sacred artifact Tianji list appeared and instantly opened the entrance to the Abyss Realm. Chapter 1939. Abyss World. At this time, Xia Ping and the observers from the Soaring Cloud sect, Five Elements sect, Guiyuan sect, and Flying Celestial sect all entered the Abyss World and stepped onto this Abyss continent. The disciples participating in the trial also entered one after another. They were currently flying in mid-air, observing the situation of the many disciples, as well as guarding against any unpredictable dangers. Abyss World, what a hateful world. The Soaring Cloud sect elder sighed. He found that the surroundings were filled with a strong abyss aura. If he didn't circulate his mana to form a layer of Gang Qi to isolate the abyss aura, it wouldn't take long for him to be assimilated into a demon. Even this place was barren and dark, filled with a dark, bloody, and murderous aura. It was simply killing intent at every step, which was terrifying. There were many dark places, and no one knew what terrible creatures would jump out from the dark areas. There seemed to be no bright sun demon in the sky above this demon continent, so this place was darker than the demon continent that Xia Ping entered last time, and the abyss devil aura was also much denser. Fortunately, I only stayed for a month. If I stayed for more than 3 months, I don't think I could stand it. The Flying Celestial sect elder also felt the same. This was not a place suitable for humans to live. However, Xia Ping didn't dare to agree. He felt that entering the Abyss World was like returning to his hometown. He was like a fish in water. He felt that if he circulated his cultivation method slightly, the Abyss Devil aura within thousands of kilometers would be completely devoured by his body like a whirlpool and transformed into mana. However, such a movement was too big. After all, he would be discovered by these elders, and some of his secrets would also be exposed. Therefore he forcibly endured it. Thinking of this, Xia Ping said, "Fellow Taoists, I want to look around this abyss continent. Fellow Xia, this is the Abyss World. There are tyrannical abyss demons everywhere. This is the base camp of the demons. If you walk around casually, you may encounter unpredictable dangers." The Five Elements sect elder reminded. Yes, it's better not to walk around casually. The abyss demons here are not to be trifled with. If you anger the abyss demons, I'm afraid a lot of them will be provoked. The Guiyuan sect elder also felt that this place was too dangerous. With their strength, it was not suitable for them to run around, otherwise they would be courting death. It's okay. I know what I'm doing. Xia Ping waved his hand. His figure flickered, and without any explanation he left. He had his own plans to carry out and didn't have time to waste here. Fellow Taoist Xia. Why did he run away so quickly? Doesn't he know that this is the Abyss World and he can't run around? Perhaps fellow Taoist Xia has some other plans. Forget it. This is fellow Taoist Xia's decision. We can't stop him. Furthermore, with fellow Taoist Xia's strength and the golden talisman on him, he can escape at any time, so his life won't be in too much danger. Yeah, we'll just observe from here. There's no need to follow them. The other elders were stunned. They didn't expect Xia Ping to slip away so quickly. However, they didn't have the strength to stop Xia Ping. Moreover, the other party was a disciple of the Jianghu sect. After they finished their discussion, they sat cross-legged in the air and quietly observed the situation of the many disciples. They were like motionless statues. A few hours later, Xia Ping went all the way. He sensed that the deeper he went into this land, the denser the abyss demon qi. The inner abyss demon qi was at least 100 times higher than the outer demon qi. Even if a law manifestation realm master entered the inner demon continent, he would probably feel that the spiritual power in his body was eroded by the abyss demon chi. Of course, this was nothing for Xia Ping. With a little operation of his cultivation method, the huge abyss demon chi quickly poured into his body and was instantly refined into pure energy. Strange, why didn't I see a powerful abyss demon along the way? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. He felt very strange. Even if this demon continent was vast, there should be a powerful abyss demon. But in fact, he flew for a few hours, but he didn't see a demon above the law manifestation realm. It seemed that they had long disappeared from this land. He increasingly felt that something unusual might have happened on this demon continent. Well, there's something strange in front. Suddenly, Xia Ping's divine senses continued to spread out. 10 million kilometers, 100 million kilometers, 1 billion kilometers, 10 billion kilometers. Finally, he sensed that in a huge valley, there seemed to be countless abyss demon auras gathered. Moreover, the aura of each abyss demon was extremely powerful, at least reaching the law manifestation realm. Among them, there were endless thunder retribution realm demons. It was simply a gathering of heroes and elites. What's going on? Are these abyss demons gathered together for a meeting? Xia Ping touched his chin. Generally speaking, abyss demons were cold and indifferent, and they could devour each other to enhance their own strength, so they would be hostile to each other and fight to the death when they met. It was extremely rare for them to gather together for a meeting like this. Unless it was an invincible demon king or even a demon saint personally giving the order, this group of abyss demons would willingly gather together. They lived in a world where the strong preyed on the weak, and they would absolutely obey the orders of the strongest. Let's go and see. Xia Ping immediately used Kunpeng's steps. Like a huge Kunpeng with wings on his back, he flew silently towards the valley at an extremely fast speed. However, before arriving at the valley, he first used the formless mask to transform himself into a dragonhorn demon, exuding the aura of the middle stage law manifestation realm. After all, if he swaggered over as a human, he couldn't hide his aura at all, which was very disadvantageous for intelligence gathering. Whoosh! It didn't take long for Xia Ping to land in front of the valley. In front of the valley there were some powerful demon soldiers guarding. The guards were awe-inspiring, exuding a tyrannical demon aura. Lord Dragonhorn Demon. As soon as they saw Xia Ping appear, many demon soldiers immediately became respectful and greeted him respectfully, because Dragonhorn demons were one of the most powerful races among the abyss demons. Am I late? Xia Ping said loudly, showing a dignified look. No, the meeting has just begun. Lord came at the right time. The demon soldier flattered. Very well, bring me in. Xia Ping said directly, pretending to be an important person. If he went in casually and couldn't find his position, it might cause some trouble. If he let the soldier lead the way, it would be foolproof. Lord Dragonhorn Demon, this way please. Chapter 1940. At this moment in the valley, the Dragonhorn Demon that Xia Ping disguised as was brought to the front by the soldiers. He was almost in the same area as the Lightning Tribulation Realm demons. It seemed that the Dragonhorn Demon had an extraordinary identity. Even at the Transcendence Realm, he was qualified to stand with other Lightning Tribulation Realm demons. This was a symbol of strength. Interesting. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows and looked indifferently at the densely packed abyss demons that had appeared in the valley. There were at least 1 million of them, and they were all at least at the Transcendence Realm. There were also more than 100,000 Lightning Tribulation Realm demons. It could be said that the stronger abyss demons on this demon continent were basically all gathered here. However, there were a total of 3 top demons standing at the front of all the abyss demons. They were the Bright Sun Demon, 9 Serenities Demon, and Sky Heart Demon. Needless to say, the Bright Sun Demon was a natural top predator that usually lived above the 9th heaven. It ate many abyss demons and made countless demons tremble in fear at the mention of its name. It called itself the Son of the Abyss. The 9 Serenities Demon was also a top demon that lived under the abyss and had indescribable terror. There was also the Sky Heart Demon. It was a terrifying demon born from the endless negative emotions of living beings. It was invisible and traceless, and there was no trace of it at all. Often, when the Sky Heart Demon killed the enemy would not even know how they died. Many abyss demons were also extremely afraid of the Sky Heart Demon. It was a wise demon among demons that could see through people's hearts and was a natural leader. Supremacy Heart Demon that Xia Ping had encountered previously was also a Sky Heart Demon before it advanced to Demon Sage. It was a terrifying monster that would only appear in the abyss every billions of years. Sky Heart Demon is here too. It seems that this gathering was called by it. What does it want? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and remained calm. At the same time, he looked at the bright sun demon up above with some desire. He could sense that the bright sun demon's blood and energy would be of great benefit to him. If he could kill this bright sun demon, his strength would definitely improve by leaps and bounds. He remembered that during the first trial, he could only watch from afar when facing the top existence of many demons and did not dare to approach at all. But now he had the strength to kill such an existence. It seems that all the demons are here. Let the meeting officially begin. At that moment, Sky's Heart Demon stood out. Its appearance was just a black fog. Deep within the black fog were two eyes and a mouth. It looked eerie and creepy. Heaven's Heart Demon, cut the crap. You summoned us here, saying that the demon saint summoned us and ordered us to prepare for war to attack the human world. Is this true? The one who spoke was the Tiger Claw Demon. Many abyssal demons also stared at the Sky Heart Demon. They were all wild and untamed. The reason why they were so obedient and didn't rebel was because the demon saint was suppressing them. Of course, they were also very interested in attacking the human world. Attack the human world? Xiaoping was stunned. He felt as if he had heard an important piece of news that was beyond his imagination. If this group of abyssal demons, no, the entire abyssal world planned to attack the human world, it would be a catastrophe for the entire universe. He immediately became extremely careful and listened carefully. Of course it's true. The demon saints have been preparing for this for a long time. Sky's Heart Demon cackled. Since the primordial era, we abyssal demons attacked the human world. At first we were unstoppable. We defeated all living beings in the universe and obtained more than half of the territory. We killed countless people. But we really underestimated these living beings and fell into their traps again and again. Then we were chased back to the abyssal world like stray dogs. We suffered a serious setback. Many demon saints died. This was a heavy blow. In the end, we were sealed in the abyssal world by these despicable fellows. We couldn't leave at all. We were even treated as their training targets. Every year humans would come and kill us. This is a great humiliation for us abyssal demons. Hearing this, many abyssal demons were furious. One had to admit that Sky's Heart Demon was indeed a demon that could see through people's minds. Just a few words made them extremely angry. The abyssal world's humiliating history, the grievance of being killed by humans, being treated as a training target like prey, billions of years of hatred surged out at this moment. Originally, humans were just like livestock to them. They could kill and eat whenever they wanted. They were extremely weak. But now both sides were on opposite sides. Instead, they became livestock of humans and became nourishment for humans. This made them indescribably angry. It was just that they were weak and couldn't resist before, so they didn't show it. Saying this, Sky's Heart Demon's eyes flashed with a strange black light. It struck while the iron was hot. But this humiliation ends today. Because the demon saints have decided to attack the human world again. That's easy for you to say. Do the demon saints have a way to break the formation that seals us abyssal demons? A demon asked. If they couldn't even break the formation, then they couldn't do something as stupid as invading the human world. Of course. This is also planned by the demon saints. After billions of years of exploration, they finally found a way to break the formation. Sky's Heart Demon sneered. In fact, they found the way long ago. But the demon saints have been holding back because they learned from the last war and learned from the painful experience. Before they had enough strength, they definitely wouldn't attack rashly. Otherwise, they would end up like the primordial era. But it's different now. Our abyssal world has been recuperating for billions of years. Countless powerful abyssal demons have completely grown up. We're no weaker than humans. Yes, we abyssal demons are no weaker than humans. Abyssal demons will never be slaves. Kill all living beings in the universe and take revenge. Many abyssal demons roared. Their voices were earth-shattering. Their demonic aura filled the sky. Their hatred had been completely ignited by Sky's Heart Demon. This time, we abyssal demons will be stronger, crueler, and more cunning. Heaven's Heart Demon yelled, "We won't make the same mistake as the primordial era. We're going to do it steadily and devour star system after star system. We'll kill all the living beings in the star system after star system and completely turn this universe into our abyss world's territory." Chapter 1941. That's right. Invade the universe and kill all the humans. Dominate, dominate. We abyssal demons are the true overlord race. Many abyssal demons were excited and fanatical. It was as if Sky's words had ignited their aggressive, cruel, and domineering personalities. They wanted nothing more than to rush out and fight those damned humans to the death. This is a little troublesome. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He could feel a storm brewing and the aura of a great war. If these abyssal demons were really well trained and steady, they would definitely bring great harm to the entire universe and all the races in the universe. By then, the losses would probably be worse than the immemorial era. If the demon sages swarmed out of the abyss world, who knew how many sages would die? Instantly he felt a sense of urgency. If a universal war really happened, with his current strength he would only be a slightly bigger cannon fodder. Only by becoming a sage could he have a chance to control his own life. If I can kill all these abyssal demons and devour their flesh and soul, my cultivation will probably improve by leaps and bounds. Xiaoping touched his chin. Originally he didn't want to cause such a huge commotion. But since these abyssal demons wanted to invade the human world, he had no choice but to kill them all. Thinking of this, he changed into Wu Wudi's appearance and stood out. A bunch of frogs at the bottom of a well, looking at the sky from the bottom of a well. They actually want to counterattack the human world. What a fool's dream. Humans can seal you for billions of years. They can continue to seal you in the future. You will never be able to escape. This is your fate. The moment he said that, many of the abyssal demons were shocked. They immediately sensed the dense human aura emanating from Xiaoping's body. What's going on? Why did a human suddenly sneak in? Damn it, when did he appear? Why didn't any of us discover him? Traitor, there must be a traitor among us. Many abyssal demons were shocked and angry. They were the cunning and vicious ones. They were the spokesmen for sneak attacks. It had always been them plotting against humans. Since when had they ever been plotted against by humans? But now, after such a long meeting, they actually didn't notice any humans appearing beside them. This was simply unbelievable. If this human hadn't taken the initiative to stand out, they wouldn't have noticed. Damn human, how did you sneak into this place? Does he have any accomplices? Tell me everything about how you infiltrated this place. Otherwise you'll wish you were dead. A goat-horned demon king roared angrily as he glared at Xiaoping, emitting a terrifying killing intent. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Just beat him up and interrogate him from his soul. I'm an expert in torturing humans. I guarantee that he'll spill everything. A black snake demon king cackled, an evil and sinister aura emanating from the depths of his blood-red pupils. Sai, you really don't understand human language. Don't tell me you still don't understand that I want all of you to die. Xiaoping instantly attacked and punched out. Martial path mystical ability, kingly killing fist. Immediately, a golden fist blasted out. Within the depths of the fist was a golden jade seal, and it emitted a noble and unstoppable aura of a king. It was boundlessly terrifying, as if an ancient emperor was personally leading an expedition. Dong. That black snake demon king still didn't know what happened. Its entire body was immediately hit by the golden fist, and its entire body immediately shattered like a watermelon. Even its primordial spirit was instantly shattered, and it completely collapsed from this world. What? Many abyssal demons were shocked, and they simply couldn't believe their eyes. They clearly sensed that this human was only at the middle stage of Law Phase realm. However, the Black Snake Demon King had already reached the early stage of Lightning Tribulation realm. There was a huge difference in cultivation level. Moreover, the combat power of abyssal demons was naturally stronger than humans of the same level. Normally, it should be the Black Snake Demon King who easily killed this stupid human. But now, the Black Snake Demon King was actually smashed by this human with a single punch. It couldn't even fight back. If they hadn't confirmed it repeatedly, they would have thought that they had fallen into some kind of terrifying illusion. That's all. You want to invade the human world with this kind of strength? Are you trying to make me laugh? You'd better go back and cultivate for a few more years. Don't come out and embarrass the abyssal demons. This will shame the primordial seniors. They aren't as weak as you. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the demons disdainfully. He stood where he was, and with his body as the center, a terrifying aura was produced. The massive abyssal demonic aura in the surroundings formed a whirlpool and frantically surged into the depths of his body. Pa-pa-pong. At this moment, Xiaoping felt that his magic power was rising steadily. Even the hell golden crow cells in the depths of his body were awakening. Massive energy surged out from the depths of his body. After killing the Black Snake Demon King, he devoured a large amount of soul energy, which made his cultivation improve greatly. If he devoured another one or two abyssal demons of the same level, the hell golden crow cells in his body would immediately awaken to 100 million. He felt that his heavenly tribulation seemed to be getting closer and closer. Human, you've gone too far. You actually dare to be so arrogant after coming to the abyss world. Kill him. Immediately kill this human and tear him into pieces. All the abyssal demons were instantly furious. It was already embarrassing enough for a small human to barge into their meeting without being discovered by any demon. But now, this bastard actually dared to wantonly mock them and even killed one of their companions in front of them. If they didn't kill this human, they wouldn't be able to swallow this anger. Die, human, poison the world. A poison demon king shouted angrily. It was a ball of black liquid, and its entire body was condensed from poison. This was a body that gathered many strange poisons of the abyss world. Even a single drop of this poison could kill hundreds of millions of people. Boom! In an instant, black raindrops fell from the sky, covering an area of a few hundred kilometers. It was like a heavy rain and there was nowhere to hide. It destroyed everything. Damn it, hide quickly. Damn, human, you've implicated the fish in the pond. Retreat, retreat immediately. Many abyssal demons nearby were so scared that their eyes turned green. This was because this poison didn't differentiate between friend and foe. When it fell, not only could it kill humans but it could also kill abyssal demons. Chapter 1942. But some abyssal demons were really too slow. They were accidentally splashed by the venom and immediately screamed. At the same time, the black venom corroded their bodies rapidly like acid. In just a breath's time, they were corroded into an unknown black substance. Even the ground was corroded, forming huge pits. It was extremely shocking. The air was filled with sulfur and the stench of decay. It was nauseating. Even the air was poisonous. Many abyssal demons couldn't open their eyes and coughed. With the poison fiend as the center, a radius of hundreds of miles became a poisonous zone. Ordinary abyssal demons couldn't enter. Freeze. Xiaoping didn't even look. He clapped his hands and used the ninth heaven force. A terrifying Xianming cold air immediately surged out of his body and covered hundreds of kilometers. Immediately, this cold current surged in all directions, and wherever it went, everything was frozen into ice. It was as if this area had turned into a world of ice and snow, and it was snowing heavily. What? The poison fiend was shocked. Its pupils contracted because it found that the cold air was extremely terrifying. The venom it had blasted out was actually frozen and turned into ice particles. The cold air surged in from all directions and surged into its body, covering it entirely. Crack, crack. The poison fiend's body was frozen into a huge ice sculpture. It was lifelike. One could even see its terrified eyes before it was frozen. The surrounding cold air terrified many abyssal demons. It was as though they would be frozen if they touched it. They might follow in the poison fiend's footsteps. Dong. Xiaoping flicked his finger lightly and a strong force bombarded the ice sculpture. The ice sculpture immediately shattered. Even the poison fiend's body turned into pieces. His spirit shattered. The poison fiend is dead? He was killed instantly by this human? Damn it. This human can't be underestimated. Bullshit. He dares to enter our nest. We have to be prepared to surround him. Let's go together and tear this arrogant human apart. Seeing that the poison fiend king was killed, the other fiend kings were furious. This human actually killed another fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king. Foolish human, do you think you're the only one who knows the power of ice? Have a taste of my Ice Devil King's abyssal ice. An Ice Devil King attacked. It was a crystal clear monster, but it was black as if black liquid was flowing. Its entire body emitted a bone-chilling coldness that made people's bones tremble. This demon king was a terrifying fiendish demon born from the ice world of the abyss. Its body contained the power of extreme frost. Ordinary fiendish demons would instantly be frozen into ice sculptures if they touched it. In an instant, it attacked and a black, abyssal cold current swept over. The temperature was frighteningly low, almost to the point where a drop of water would freeze into ice. This black cold current even contained corrosive demonic aura. Not only could it freeze all life but it could also erode it. Not even magical treasures could resist this double blow. Go to hell, human. Great Rip Devil Dao. Another Devil King rushed out from the side. It was the Shredder Devil King. It had 108 tentacles on its body, but each of them was as sharp as a blade, indestructible. When the 108 tentacles attacked the enemy at the same time, it was as if hundreds of peerless sword Dao experts attacked at the same time. Blade light and sword shadows could tear the enemy apart in an instant. The sword light that erupted could destroy everything. Even mica steel could be easily cut through like tofu. In an instant, the sword light on the Shredder Devil King blasted out. Hundreds of thousands of sword lights appeared in the air densely, as if the void was being torn apart, making people's hearts palpitate and their scalps tingle. Even if millions of low-level fiendish demons appeared in this place, they would probably be torn into countless pieces in an instant. Destructive demonic light. The one who attacked was a multi-eyed Devil King. It was more than 10 meters tall and had hundreds of eyes all over its body. Each eye was eerie and terrifying, as if it had its own consciousness. Ordinary people who saw these eyes would be eroded by the demonic power of the multi-eyed Devil King and go crazy. In fact, each eye could even burst out with destructive demonic light that contained terrifying destructive power. Its entire body stood on the spot like a mobile cannon. In an instant, thousands of destructive demonic light blasted out, covering the area where Xia Ping was, as if it wanted to make the area barren from then on. Abyssal demonic fire. The burning Devil King also couldn't hold it in any longer. Its entire body seemed to be made of rock, but terrifying magma was spewing out everywhere. It emitted thick smoke and the smell of sulfur pervaded the air. Its body was huge, reaching over 100 meters in height like a small mountain. Its entire body was burning with terrifying flames. This was the demonic fire that came from the abyss, not inferior to any deviant fire. Once the enemy touched the flames, they would instantly turn into ashes. It circulated its demonic power, and a huge amount of demonic fire blasted out. The entire area was covered in demonic fire, and the entire ground was burned to the point of cracking, as if it had turned into a world of lava. At this instant, more than 10 Devil King-level fiendish demons attacked at the same time, attacking from all directions in the sky. They used their full strength, wanting to turn this damn human Xia Ping into dust. Thousand-eyed demon. Xia Ping circulated his cultivation technique, and a huge amount of magic power immediately rushed out from the depths of his body. The majestic heaven and earth Yuan Qi instantly condensed into a Dharma idol. Thousand-eyed demon. This thousand-eyed demon was thousands of meters tall, and it had thousands of demonic eyes. Each demonic eye seemed to represent a mysterious power from the depths of hell, unfathomable. It was clearly a demon, but it was neither happy nor sad. It emitted a holy aura, like a high and mighty god that controlled death. It was indescribably noble and unfathomable. Boom. At this moment, the thousand-eyed demon's eyes opened, and in an instant, the world turned upside down. Countless demonic light blasted out from the depths of its pupils, forming a supreme killing formation that pierced through the void. Dong dong dong. The entire world seemed to have stopped at this moment. The Ice Devil King, Shredder Devil King, Multi-Eyed Devil King, Burning Devil King, and other Devil King-level fiendish demons were still hundreds of meters away from Xia Ping. But at this moment, their eyes widened, and they were shocked to find that their mystic arts were easily defeated by the demonic light. In fact, the demonic light even pierced through their bodies. Their fiendish defense, which was clearly comparable to a superior-grade spirit artifact, was now as weak as tofu. In a breath's time, their bodies were full of holes and they were like a beehive. Rumble in the next second, the Ice Devil King, Shredder Devil King, Multi-Eyed Devil King, Burning Devil King, and the other Devil Kings didn't even know what had happened, but their bodies were disintegrated into hundreds of pieces. Chapter 1943. This. Many of the abyssal demons were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. These were more than 10 demon kings. Even in the abyss world, they were overlord-class existences. They ruled over billions of demons and were extremely powerful. But now they were killed by this human in an instant. They couldn't even get close to him and were dismembered in mid-air. They could see the eyes of these demon kings after they died. They were filled with unwillingness, fear, confusion, and regret. They didn't seem to know how they were killed by this human. These are abyss demons? Weak too weak. I haven't even done anything and you are already lying on the ground. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and lamented, I didn't expect this batch of abyss demons to be so weak. You are the weakest batch of demons I have ever seen. You are unimaginably weak. Could it be that after being reared by us humans for billions of years, the ferocity in your bodies has been erased and you have become livestock? At this moment, with his body as the center, a terrifying aura was produced. The abyss demon aura within thousands of kilometers turned into a whirlpool and surged towards Xia Ping's body. Even the remnant soul energy of these dead demon kings was absorbed by Xia Ping. He felt the dermic powers in his body rising rapidly. Even the golden crow of hell cells in the depths of his body were awakening. 100,000 cells, 500,000 cells, 1 million cells, 3 million cells. It seemed like he was getting closer and closer to awakening 100 million golden crow of hell cells. His strength was rising with every passing moment. The entire abyss world seemed to sense that a taboo existence was about to be born. In the sky, dark clouds gathered and a huge calamity was brewing. But the attention of many of the abyss demons had long been attracted by Xia Ping. They didn't notice their surroundings at all. The weakest batch of demons? Damn human, what the hell are you talking about? You make it sound like you have seen many demons before. I am older than 18 generations of my ancestors. Do you know that? Damn human, how dare you humiliate us like this and treat us like livestock? As expected, humans are the most evil. I will definitely exterminate the human race. Completely exterminate them. This is a great humiliation. This is a great humiliation. I must kill this bastard. I'm going to tear him apart and feed his flesh to the dogs piece by piece. Many abyssal demons were infuriated by Xia Ping's words and flew into a rage. They were originally violent demonic creatures. How could they endure such mockery and humiliation from Xia Ping? One by one they exploded in anger. Human, you're too arrogant. This king can't tolerate you for even a second. I'll kill you as a sacrifice to the flag. At this time, on the high platform as the peak existence of billions of demons, the 9 underworld demon also couldn't hold it in any longer. It stood out on the spot, looking down on all living beings, indifferently staring at Xia Ping. It looked at Xia Ping as if it was looking at a dead man. TSK, although I don't know how you managed to sneak in without us noticing, you'll have to stop here today. You dared to expose your identity in front of so many abyssal demons. I really don't know where your brain is located. Heaven's Heart Demon cackled. Everyone don't attack. Wait for me to kill him. I feel that this human has something I desire. After killing him, I'll gain endless benefits. The Bright Sun Demon also spoke. Its voice was extremely loud and deafening. It was also very hoarse, like the sound of metal rubbing against each other. It was ear-piercing and uncomfortable. But as soon as it spoke, it shocked countless demons. This was the Bright Sun Demon, the peak existence of countless demons. It was a natural predator and had the potential to become a demon sage. Such an existence was going to attack personally? Even Heaven's Heart Demon and the 9 Underworld Demon were shocked. The Bright Sun Demon was a very lazy existence. Usually when it wasn't hungry, it would fall into a deep sleep. Unless it was necessary, it wouldn't attack. But now, it was going to attack and kill this human. They didn't know what was going on. Was this human so arrogant that even the Bright Sun Demon was completely enraged? At this moment, the Bright Sun Demon's eyes were filled with madness. It almost couldn't control its rationality because it felt that Xia Ping's body was emitting endless heat. It was like a real sun. If it could devour all of this human's flesh and blood, it would probably truly understand the true meaning of a demon sage. It would instantly ascend to the same realm as a demon sage. This was its opportunity to attain Tao. But at this moment, Xia Ping had no time to care about the threat of these demons. He could feel the golden crow of hell cells in his body awakening crazily. At this moment, the 100 millionth golden crow of hell cell finally awakened. This seemed to be a critical point. From a quantitative change to a qualitative change, there seemed to be some indescribable change. Whoosh! Xia Ping felt that every drop of blood in his body was boiling, burning like magma. His entire body had turned into an existence of flames. At the same time, his blood also underwent an earth-shattering change. Metamorphosis, and continuous metamorphosis. In the end, it was completely transformed into dark golden blood. This blood was sacred, noble, and ancient. It seemed to be the blood of a mythical creature. It contained an indescribable power as if it was born from the depths of chaos. Boom! Many abyssal demons wanted to attack Xia Ping. But at this moment, Xia Ping's body produced a terrifying aura. It instantly erupted and sent the surrounding abyssal demons flying. With Xia Ping's body as the center, the area within a radius of 1,000 kilometers became empty. All abyssal demons were repelled. Those abyssal demons that were sent flying all coughed up blood. They were shocked. They actually felt that under the explosion of that aura just now, they had no way to resist. What happened? Many abyssal demons were shocked. They clearly felt that this human in front of them had undergone an unbelievable transformation. This seemed to be a leap in the nature of life. A tyrannical aura surged out from the depths of this human's body. That human seemed to have turned into a huge furnace. He emitted endless heat as if he was going to completely melt this land. Sun, this is the real sun. The bright sun demon was extremely fanatical. It could feel the most fundamental power of the sun from this human. It was as if this human was the true incarnation of the sun. He was the sun god walking in the human world. It was very clear that it was just a demon that imitated the sun. Compared to a real mythical creature, it was unknown how far apart it was. A fake would never be able to become the real thing. Chapter 1944. Xia Ping ignored the covetous eyes of the abyssal demons around him. He was immersed in his own evolution. When the 100 million golden crow cells in his body had awakened, his bloodline had reached a certain level of density and had undergone a supreme transformation. From the depths of these golden crow cells, not only was a huge amount of golden crow energy surging out, but there was also a lot of information from the golden crow inheritance. These were all the memories engraved in the depths of the golden crow cells. This was bloodline inheritance. Every drop of the blood of a real mythical creature contained a huge amount of information. Like an immortal book, they were eternal and indestructible. Once triggered, the inheritance would be activated again, endlessly. At this moment, Xia Ping was receiving such an inheritance. He seemed to have transformed into a real golden crow of hell. The blood in his body had also turned into immortal flames. His control of flames seemed to have reached a higher level. He had reached the level of mastery and could use them freely. At this moment he felt that he was the ruler of flames. Whooshed, when the inheritance information was transmitted to a certain extent, countless scriptures gathered in Xia Ping's mind, as if forming a powerful bloodline ability. Xia Ping reached out his right hand. The depths of his body, the depths of the void, and the flames floating in the space were all attracted. Countless golden crow runes flashed and gathered together. Immediately, the flames solidified and gradually turned into a dark golden spear. Countless golden crow runes were engraved on it. It emitted a holy, ancient, powerful, and dominating aura. Bloodline ability, Spear of the Nether Deity. Xia Ping immediately knew what bloodline ability he had obtained after awakening the 100 million golden crow cells. It was a peerless ability that the golden crow of hell had comprehended after falling into the 9 hells, Spear of the Nether Deity. This spear was a weapon of slaughter. It was a peerless killing move that the golden crow of hell had comprehended after becoming the ruler of hell. It represented the authority of the Nether Deity, ruling over the life and death of all gods and demons. Once the Spear of the Nether Deity appeared, it could immediately kill all enemies. One's life and death would be out of one's control. So powerful. Xia Ping gripped this dark golden spear tightly. He could clearly feel how terrifying this spear was. The tip of the spear contained a sharp aura that seemed to be able to easily pierce through the sky. The entire spear was condensed from the flames of the golden crow of hell. It contained both the flames of hell and the flames of the golden crow. If it hit an enemy, it could instantly wipe them out and make them disappear from this universe. The killing power contained within it was 10 times more terrifying than the infernal golden crow claw. This was a peerless divine ability that existed purely to kill enemies. When Xia Ping awakened the infernal deity spear, the entire abyssal world could sense the taboo power, and although it was weak, it had boundless potential. This also angered the abyssal world's laws. Rumble, in an instant, endless tribulation clouds surged out from the depths of the abyss world. In just a few breaths, they covered a radius of 30 billion kilometers, vast and boundless, enveloping everything. However, these tribulation clouds were not ordinary tribulation clouds. They were crimson tribulation clouds and were extremely bright. They surged in the sky like blood and dyed the abyss continent red. The blood-colored tribulation cloud exuded a terrifying bloody aura, death aura, nirvana aura, and abyss aura. It was as if the entire world was enraged, surging with endless fury. Every crimson tribulation cloud burned like flames, and the flames shot into the sky. At this moment, many of the abyssal demons finally noticed the situation, and they couldn't help but notice it, because the change was too great, reaching an earth-shattering level. After all, the entire abyss world was pitch black all year round. There was only the occasional light, but it was also gray. But now, there were actually crimson clouds in the sky like a sea of blood. Endless crimson light shone on the ground, seemingly expelling the darkness completely. Many of the abyssal demons saw such a dazzling light for the first time, and it was also the first time they lived under the sunlight. Instantly they couldn't bear it and their eyes were almost burned blind. What's going on? Why did a sea of blood suddenly appear in the sky? An abyssal demon was dumbfounded. It had lived in the abyss world for hundreds of thousands of years, but had never experienced such a thing. A sea of blood in the sky was unprecedented. Even some ancient abyssal demons that had lived for millions of years had never heard of such a thing. I feel that this sea of blood represents inauspiciousness. It seems to contain a terrifying calamity power. Once it descends, we will definitely face annihilation. A demon's expression was very ugly. It was extremely sensitive to such calamity power, and was proficient in seeking fortune and avoiding calamity. But facing the sea of blood in the sky, it was helpless. This sea of blood was too big and it couldn't escape in a short time. Damn, I know what's going on with this sea of blood. It's a calamity sea cloud, a blood tribulation cloud. It will send down crimson lightning to destroy everything. This is heaven's tribulation. An ancient demon finally recalled the information of the crimson tribulation cloud from its distant memories. But when it thought of it, its face instantly turned green, and its entire body trembled. Crimson lightning? What's that? Many abyssal demons asked curiously. It's normal that you don't know, because crimson lightning rarely appears. It's also known as world annihilation lightning. If someone didn't do something that angered the laws of the universe, it wouldn't be triggered. That ancient demon gritted its teeth and said, but once it's triggered, someone must have done something that triggered a taboo in the universe, causing heaven and earth to be enraged and lightning to destroy the world. Its entire body trembled and it couldn't hide the fear in its heart. When heaven's tribulation descended, who could survive? It's that human, it must be that human. A demon shouted crazily, we demons don't have the ability to trigger this crimson lightning. That damn human must have done something taboo to trigger such a terrifying heaven's tribulation. It immediately noticed that the human in front of it was in the core of the tribulation cloud. Fuck, what did that human do? Why did he trigger the crimson lightning? Damn, I knew that humans are shit stirrers. They don't do anything good and harm others and themselves. They're scourges of the universe. They're even more terrifying than us abyssal demons. What should we do now? Should we escape? If the crimson lightning descends, even if we aren't the ones suffering from heaven's tribulation, we might still be implicated and treated as accomplices. How can we escape? This crimson tribulation cloud is boundless and I can't see the end. Where can we escape to? At the very least, we have to stay far away from that bastard human. The closer we get to him, the more terrifying the lightning tribulation will be. Chapter 1945. The ninth underworld demon, Skyheart demon, and Bright Sun demon also noticed the situation. They were the strongest, so they could naturally sense the terror of the blood-colored thunderclouds in the sky. There was an indescribable terror in the depths of the clouds. If it descended, it would definitely be a world-destroying energy. Even though they were top-tier great demons, they would not be able to withstand the scarlet lightning. Not to mention, the heavenly tribulation itself restrained the power of great demons. It would greatly weaken their resistance. Damn it. The Bright Sun demon's eyes flickered. It was unwilling to give up. It wanted to immediately rush up and devour the human, so that it could immediately strengthen its origin energy. The problem was that the human was at the center of the heavenly tribulation. The heavenly tribulation was clearly coming for him. If it rushed in recklessly, it would definitely be treated as a target for the heavenly tribulation. When that happened, it might even be struck to death by the scarlet lightning. For a moment, it was in a dilemma and did not know what to do. As for the Skyheart demon, it was extremely fearful. In terms of unpredictability, it was definitely second to none. It was a demon that countless living beings feared. The problem was that it was weaker than all the other great demons in the face of the heavenly tribulation. The ninth underworld demon also felt waves of fear. This was the instinctive fear of the heavenly tribulation. It was engraved deep in its genes. It also wanted to escape immediately. However, the other great demons did not move, so it was too embarrassed to run now. As a top-tier great demon and the future leader of the great demons, it still had its pride. The appearance of such a huge blood-colored tribulation cloud, even if it was in the deepest part of the demon continent, suddenly attracted the attention of the elders of the Lingyun sect, Five Elements sect, Guiyuan sect, and Flying Immortal sect who stayed in the demon continent. They were originally sitting cross-legged, but when they sensed the aura of the tribulation cloud, they immediately stood up. What's going on? When did this blood-colored tribulation cloud appear? Why does it seem to emit an ominous aura? The Soaring Cloud sect's elder had a solemn expression. He could sense the extremely terrifying aura of the blood-colored tribulation cloud. Even though the tribulation cloud was extremely far away, it still made him feel extremely threatened. It was as if he would be struck to death by the tribulation lightning if he got any closer. This is scarlet lightning, the heavenly tribulation lightning. It is a tribulation that will only appear when the heavenly tribulation lightning touches the taboo laws of the universe. How can it appear now? The Five Elements sect's elder had a deep understanding of all kinds of heavenly tribulation lightning. He immediately knew that this was scarlet lightning. But the more he knew, the more confused he was. He didn't know why he appeared in the demon continent. Could it be that a tyrannical peerless demon is about to be born in the depths of the demon continent, but because that demon is too monstrous, even the heavens want to kill it? The Gui Yuan sect elder guessed. If that's the case, it's terrifying. The birth of such a demon from the abyss is probably not a blessing for us humans. Maybe there will be another demon saint. The elder of the Flying Immortal sect had a grave expression on his face. What can we do? This is the abyss and we can't do anything about it. We can only resign ourselves to fate. Maybe that demon was killed by the heavenly tribulation. The Gui Yuan sect elder waved his hand. It's not impossible, but we should be careful this time. If something goes wrong, we must evacuate all the disciples immediately. We can't let them die in vain in this place. The Lingyun sect elder felt that he had to be vigilant at all times. If the tribulation cloud came to this edge, he might have to use the power of the Tianji list to teleport all the disciples away from this dangerous place. By the way, where is fellow Taoist Xia? We have to inform him about this as soon as possible. The Five Elements sect elder remembered the existence of Xia Ping. I tried to contact him just now, but I couldn't get in touch with him. I don't know where he went. The Flying Immortal sect elder wondered. It's impossible for him to not notice such a big blood-colored tribulation cloud. Did he sneak in to observe? It's not impossible, but if it's true, then this action is too reckless. That's the base camp of the demons. Going in is suicide. The Gui Yuan sect elder shook his head. Forget it, this is fellow Taoist Xia's decision. We can't stop him. We can only hope that he's fine. The Flying Immortal sect elder waved his hand and didn't want to pay too much attention to this kind of thing. After all, Xia Ping was not a member of their Flying Immortal sect. Heavenly Mystery Board, is communication with the outside world smooth now? The Five Elements sect elder contacted the Sacred Heavenly Mystery Board. There's no problem. As long as we give the order, we can immediately teleport all the disciples away. The Heavenly Mystery Board's voice sounded. Very good. Then we'll see how the situation changes. If it's too dangerous, we'll leave immediately. We can't let these young disciples die under such a natural disaster. The Five Elements sect elder said solemnly. Yes, I'll keep an eye on it. The Heavenly Mystery Board said. At the edge of the demonic continent on a mountain peak, Su Ji, Jianghu, Chu Rong and Yu Qiqi appeared here. They were all at the treasure refining realm. Hunting demons at the edge of this continent was like a fish in water. After all, the abyssal demons at the edge of the continent weren't very strong. Only in the center of the continent would there be abyssal demons at the True Fire realm or even the Golden Core realm. At this moment, they also noticed the blood-colored tribulation cloud that had suddenly appeared in the distant sky. What's going on with that blood-colored cloud? Isn't it a bit too big? It's practically boundless. Yu Qiqi exclaimed when she saw the blood-colored tribulation cloud. I can sense an ominous aura from the depths of that blood-colored cloud. We can't go near it or we'll definitely die. Jianghu said solemnly. She was very sensitive to danger. I wonder what happened to the demons in the depths of this continent. Such a terrifying blood-colored cloud actually appeared. The demonic continent is really too dangerous. Fortunately, we're only staying at the periphery. Chu Rong rejoiced. Could it be that Xia Ping is in that place? It said that that bastard became an observer and also entered the demonic continent. Maybe that blood-colored cloud was created by him. Suji guessed. It can't be. No matter how unscrupulous that bastard is, no matter how unscrupulous, no matter how condescending, this is the base camp of the abyssal demons. At this point, Jianghu suddenly remembered Xia Ping's character. The corner of her mouth twitched. All right, I admit it. According to that bastard's character, it's not impossible. There's nothing he wouldn't dare to do. Don't worry so much. Let's just quickly kill these low-level demons and earn points. Even if this was done by that bastard, there's nothing we can do. Chu Rong waved her hand. You're right. Yu Qiqi also felt the same way. It was more important for them to complete this trial as soon as possible. Chapter 1946. Rumble, more and more blood-colored tribulation clouds appeared in the sky, and the clouds became thicker and thicker. At first, they were only a few hundred meters thick, but as time passed they became tens of thousands of meters thick, almost solidifying. The huge blood-colored clouds surged like mercury, constantly tumbling, like a giant dragon turning over its body. With Xia Ping as the center, the blood-colored clouds in the sky formed a huge vortex that kept spinning, as if the sky had turned into a black hole that would devour everything. All the demons in the abyss could sense how terrifying the power of the heavenly tribulation was in the depths of the vortex. The entire sky had cracked at this moment, and densely packed cracks appeared. These cracks were connected to the depths of the dimension, and the huge power of the heavenly tribulation gushed out from the depths of the dimension. Each crack in the sky was thousands of kilometers long, as if it had torn the sky in half. It was extremely terrifying. What a terrifying heavenly tribulation, scarlet lightning. Just looking at it makes me tremble in fear, a demon lamented as he looked at the tribulation clouds gathering in the sky. I wonder what that human did to actually trigger the heavenly tribulation. I guess even a demon at the peak of the thunder tribulation realm can't trigger such a terrifying heavenly tribulation. Who knows what that human did? Anyway, that human is dead for sure. We don't even need to do anything. He will be directly struck to death by the scarlet lightning and turned into ashes. That's right. Fortunately, it's not targeting us. Otherwise we would be in danger too. Ah, that kid was so arrogant. He even boasted in front of us, saying that we were the worst batch of demons. Now he's in big trouble. Therefore, people shouldn't speak carelessly, or they will be punished by heaven. Many demons were discussing and rejoicing. Fortunately, the scarlet lightning was targeting that damn human. Otherwise it would bode ill for them. At the same time, they were gloating and happy to see that humans suffer. Wait, something's not right. What is that human trying to do? He's flying towards us. Some demons immediately noticed the human's actions and quickly became vigilant. They didn't know what that kid was trying to do. Many demons also noticed this situation. They even realized that as the human moved, the huge blood-colored tribulation clouds seemed to be moving slowly as well, following him like a shadow. This sort of situation instantly terrified them to the point their souls almost flew out of their bodies. They trembled with fear and faintly felt that the situation was bad. Stop right there, human. What are you trying to do? This is the territory of us demons. It's a forbidden area. Leave now or we'll kill you immediately. An abyssal demon shouted angrily, stopping Xia Ping's actions. Brother Yaoma, it can be said that we don't get to know each other after a fight. As the saying goes, everyone within the four seas is a brother. When a brother is in trouble, everyone will come to his aid. Xia Ping shouted, I would like to invite everyone to help me get through this heavenly tribulation. Once it is done, I will definitely repay you. Save your ass. Get lost. Get lost. Get lost. I knew this shameless human was up to no good. He even wanted us to help him get through the heavenly tribulation. Why didn't you eat shit? We are demons from the abyss, mortal enemies of humans. Why would we help you? Just give up. You said that all are brothers within the four seas? Just now, when you were killing us abyssal demons, why didn't you say you were brothers? Now that you're in trouble, suffering the wrath of heaven, you want to call us brothers? So this brother is the one who stabbed me in the back. I knew that humans were all sinister and ruthless. I didn't expect you to be so shameless. How could you say such things? You even said that you would repay us after the matter is done. Repay your ass. If we really help you get through the heavenly tribulation, most of us will die. How can there be any demons to ask for repayment? Shameless human, get lost immediately. Don't cause trouble here. Otherwise, before the heavenly tribulation arrives, we will kill you first. You'd better behave yourself. Don't make a mistake. Many abyssal demons cursed loudly, spittle flying everywhere. Even if they used their knees to think, they wouldn't agree to this human's shameless request. If that's the case, then there's nothing to talk about. Why do you have to be so heartless? As the saying goes, one more friend is one more way out. With a friend like me, I can guarantee that you will be successful in the future. Xia Ping spread his hands. He still wanted to talk. But at this moment, he looked up and discovered that the red tribulation clouds in the sky could no longer hold back. The huge tribulation power and the lightning power had reached the critical point. Boom. In an instant, in the red vortex in the sky, tens of thousands of bright red lightning bolts fell from the sky, covering a radius of 3,000 kilometers. Every bright red lightning bolt was the size of a 100-year-old tree. They were like coiling dragons, whistling and tearing the void, containing a destructive aura. Just the energy of such a red lightning bolt could easily penetrate a planet. Universal Dharma Idol, tout. With a single thought, Xia Ping channeled the arcane energy in his body. A Dharma idol of heaven and earth emerged from the ground, transforming into a Taotai. It opened its mouth wide and swallowed all the red thunderbolts around him. Instantly, hundreds of red lightning bolts wreaked havoc in the Taoyu's dimension. They were like dragons crashing everywhere, producing terrifying vibrations and exploding powerful collision forces. But under the power of the Taotai, it was of no use. After a few breaths, the red lightning was immediately swallowed and refined by the Taotai. Whoosh! Xia Ping felt a huge amount of lightning essence surging into his body. It was the energy of the bright red lightning. Countless small lightning bolts wandered in his body and crackled. At the same time, the lightning essence surged into the universal Dharma idol in the depths of his sea of consciousness, Kuei. After absorbing the lightning energy, the Kuei's body seemed to become more solid. Some red runes also appeared on the surface of its body, as if there was bright red lightning wandering around in its body. But the group of abyssal demons near Xia Ping were not so lucky. They were not as strong as Xia Ping, nor were they proficient in the Taoyu's devouring magic power. They were not even fast enough to dodge. As a result, they were bombarded by bolts of bright red lightning while they were still standing in their original spots. Ah! The abyssal demons let out shrill screams like pigs being slaughtered. They could finally feel the horror of the bright red lightning. This was the real heavenly tribulation lightning. When the bright red lightning entered their bodies, the strong bodies that they were proud of were of no help at all. They were easily penetrated and the lightning spread throughout their bodies. At the same time, the bright red lightning contained the power of heavenly punishment. It was a great nemesis to the abyssal demon chi in their bodies. Once inside, the huge amount of abyssal demon chi in their bodies melted. But the abyssal demon chi was the foundation that the abyssal demons relied on to survive. It was like a source of energy. Now that it was being destroyed by the bright red lightning, it was no less than someone using a knife to cut off their flesh piece by piece. Such pain could not be described with words. Boom. Chapter 1947. Human, fuck your mother. Some abyssal demons cursed. They were so angry that they wanted to tear Xia Ping into pieces and skin him alive. They finally understood that this damned human had suddenly approached them in order to let them share the pressure of the heavenly tribulation, so that they would also be covered by the heavenly tribulation. Because they were abyssal demons, their bodies contained pure yin demonic energy, while the heavenly tribulation contained pure yang tribulation energy. The two sides were mutually reinforcing and mutually restraining. Simply put, they were equivalent to lightning rods. If Xia Ping wasn't the one undergoing the tribulation, the first thing the heavenly tribulation would do would be to kill them. Even though he was the one undergoing the tribulation now, when the lightning descended, a portion of the tribulation lightning would unknowingly be attracted by the abyssal demons and strike them. This would imperceptibly help Xia Ping share a portion of the power of the tribulation. There was no doubt that this damned human was planning to use them as scapegoats. Perhaps this human had suddenly entered the abyss world and even came to their base camp. His original goal was to use them as scapegoats. Despicable and shameless human, you actually want to use us as scapegoats? You're fucking shameless. Even the abyssal demons aren't as despicable as you, not as insidious, not as shameless as you. As a human almighty, you actually did such a thing. Do you still have a conscience? If we die because of you, we won't let you off even if we become ghosts. Even if we become vengeful spirits, we will crawl out from the depths of hell and find you to take revenge. Many of the abyssal demons cursed. They hated Xia Ping to the extreme. If they had the chance, they would want to tear this damned human to shreds. What joy is there in life? What bitterness is there in death? Xia Ping had a compassionate expression. You're really alive now, but are you really dead now if you die now? How do you know that dying now isn't the beginning of a new life? Those demon brothers seem to have been killed by the lightning tribulation, but in fact they had just returned to the embrace of the void of the universe, waiting for the next beginning of a new life. I'm not killing them by doing this. I'm just giving them a new life, a choice to start afresh. Why do you still insist on going about things the wrong way? Can't you see through life and death? His body emitted boundless Buddhist light, blooming with the light of wisdom, as if he was going to deliver all living beings from suffering. Fuck, if I'm not alive right now, am I dead? Damn, this human's mouth can turn black into white and death into life. Hehe, so we have to thank you for letting us die? Return to the embrace of the cosmic void? Why don't you return? What the hell are you looking at? Fucking human, I'll give you a new life right now. The group of abyssal demons was instantly enraged. They had clearly caused the deaths of so many of their demon brothers, but in the mouth of this human, it wasn't causing their deaths but giving them a new life. Now that he said that, the dead demon brothers had to thank him. They had never seen such a shameless human. Instantly, many abyss demons were enraged. They charged forward, wanting to tear Xiaoping to shreds. However, they had only just taken a step forward when the crimson lightning in the sky descended once again. This time it was twice as terrifying as before, and the area it covered had doubled, covering a radius of 6,000 kilometers. The number of lightning bolts had also doubled. 20,000 bolts of bright red lightning had descended at once. This was to be expected. Because this time, Xiaoping had suffered 81 waves of lightning tribulation. Each wave was more terrifying than the one before. When it reached the 81st wave, its power was unimaginable. Dong dong dong. The thousands of abyss demons that had tried to approach Xiaoping didn't know what was happening. They were struck by the crimson lightning, as though they were bathed in a sea of lightning. Ah! They couldn't help but scream as the terrifying crimson lightning invaded their bodies. In an instant, these abyss demons were all killed, reduced to a pile of ash. As for Xiaoping, he was still standing unscathed in the middle of the sea of lightning. In fact, because he had devoured a portion of the lightning essence, his aura had grown a little stronger. Countless lightning snakes swam through his body. Seeing the calm and composed Xiaoping, many of the abyss demons were enraged. This heavenly tribulation was clearly targeting this damned human, but he was unharmed. But they, the abyss demons, had suffered heavy losses. Who knew how many had died? This made them even more infuriated, and they hated Xiaoping to the core. But now they didn't have time to curse this shameless human, because they could clearly sense that the next wave of lightning tribulation was descending. There was almost no time in between. Retreat, retreat immediately. Don't tangle with this human. That's right. The heavenly tribulation is targeting this damned human. As long as we escape from the heavenly tribulation, this kid will naturally be struck to death by the heavenly tribulation. Right, we don't have to fight to the death with him. He's just a dead person. Many of the abyss demons immediately made a decision. They were also cowards. Seeing the outcome of those abyss demons, they decided to flee immediately. So. In an instant, these abyss demons scattered and fled in all directions. They were extremely fast. Still want to flee? Xiaoping couldn't let these abyss demons flee. It wasn't easy to drag some abyss demons down with him. If they all fled, how could they help him share the pressure of the heavenly tribulation? With a thought, he immediately took out a Dharma treasure, the inferior grade sage artifact, the whirling prayer beads. Xiaoping circulated his Dharma power, and a huge amount of Dharma power surged into the depths of the whirling prayer beads. Immediately, he activated the profound arrays in the depths of the whirling prayer beads. Boom. Immediately, a kingdom of Buddha was projected from the depths of the whirling prayer beads. It covered a radius of billions of kilometers and completely enveloped the world within sight. Rays of golden light appeared and shrouded the area like an eggshell. It turned a radius of billions of kilometers into a kingdom of Buddha. Countless Buddhist runes flashed and golden runes filled the sky. These golden energy shields were extremely sturdy, as though they had formed a domain. Bang bang bang. Those abyss demons that attempted to flee crashed into the golden energy shields. It was as though they had crashed into an iron wall. Instantly, their heads were bleeding and they let out shrill cries. Even some of the stronger abyss demons were dizzy from the impact. Because the speed at which they fled was really too fast. The appearance of this golden energy shield was like a high-speed sports car suddenly crashing into a steel wall. Chapter 1948. Low-grade sage artifact. This bastard human actually has a low-grade sage artifact. Some abyssal demons immediately recognized that treasure as the human's famous sage artifact. It was precisely because of the power of the sage artifact that it could stop them from escaping. No matter how strong the abyssal demons were, they seemed to be trapped in this Buddha kingdom. In fact, in the immemorial era, the humans could defeat these abyssal demons because they had all sorts of powerful treasures that could allow them to display combat power that was several times, or even dozens of times stronger than themselves. After all, the bodies of the abyssal demons, their bloodline mystiques and so on far surpassed the human race. Without the help of treasures, there was no way they could fight back. But this also made the abyssal demons extremely fearful of the human race's treasures. They were furious. Damn it, what is this human trying to do? What's the point of trapping us? Do you even need to ask? That bastard's goal is obvious. He clearly wants to use us as scapegoats. He wants us to share the pressure of the heavens' tribulation. He wants to drag us down with him. Despicable. It's fine if he dies, but he wants to drag us down with him. Shameless slut. What are you talking about? What dogs hit sage artifact? Break it immediately and escape from here. It's useless. This golden energy barrier is too strong. We probably can't break it in a short period of time. We will need at least 3 days to break it. Fuck, 3 days? If we have that time, we would be long dead. We would be struck to death by the lightning tribulation. How can we wait that long? Stop joking. Many abyssal demons gritted their teeth. They tried to break the Buddha kingdom of the whirling prayer beads, but found that the golden energy barrier was extremely sturdy and contained Buddhist scriptures. Once they landed on it, golden scriptures would appear and countless runes would circulate, easily blocking their demonic arts. These powers couldn't harm the energy barrier at all. Without a doubt, they were indeed trapped in this Buddha kingdom. In the blink of an eye, 100,000 bolts of red lightning descended, covering a radius of 12,000 kilometers. The surrounding abyssal demons couldn't dodge in time and were struck. Dong dong dong. Immediately, tens of thousands of abyssal demons were struck to death. Their bodies shattered and turned to dust. Bastard, fight it out with this human. That's right. Since we can't leave, we can only fight him to the death. That human is the crux of the problem. As long as we kill him, all our problems will be solved. The heavenly tribulation will automatically dissipate, and we will be able to live. Kill this human. The numerous abyssal fiendish demons had been forced into a desperate situation. They couldn't escape, so the only thing they could do now was to fight to the death with this human. Once this brat was completely eliminated, everything would be over. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, the bear fiend, six-armed lion fiend, three-eyed bear fiend, giant serpent fiend, bronze blaze fiend, hypervenom fiend, and all the other abyssal demons were going crazy. Instantly, rays of terrifying black energy shot over one after another. They intertwined with each other, forming an energy tide that surged over violently, threatening to engulf everything. This was the fury of over 1 million abyssal demons. It could almost flip the heavens and earth and tear apart the stars. Even a peak thunder tribulation realm mighty figure would be instantly obliterated in the face of such a demonic divine ability. Not even their bones would be left. Come on, Scepter of Glory Chaos. With a thought, another treasure flew out of Xiaoping's body. It was a medial-grade sacred artifact he had obtained from the angel race, Scepter of Glory. The scepter floated in front of Xiaoping, spinning slowly. It received Xiaoping's immense spiritual power, and the entire scepter trembled, releasing boundless white light. Rumble. From the Scepter of Glory, beams of white holy light burst out. The amount of holy light was unimaginable. It had already exceeded 1 million beams. Countless beams of holy light rained down, bombarding the bodies of the abyssal demons. The bodies of the abyssal demons didn't resist at all. The white holy light easily entered their bodies and seeped into the depths of their minds. In the next second, the group of abyssal demons was dumbfounded. Illusory images of angels appeared in their minds, using holy light to purify the evil thoughts in their bodies, expelling and purifying all the demonic chi. Instantly they fell into complete chaos. They couldn't differentiate between friend and foe, and their divine abilities bombarded in all directions. This was the terror of the Scepter of Glory. It could use large-scale mental interference and mind control. Creatures with weaker mental power were directly controlled. Even creatures with strong mental power would fall into a certain period of confusion when facing the Scepter of Glory's attack. Their minds would go blank and they wouldn't know what was happening. Bang bang bang. Immediately, the many abyssal demons started to be unlucky. They fell into chaos for no reason and actually attacked their own people. Instantly, the surrounding demons were all attacked. Some weaker abyssal demons were immediately killed. Their corpses were all smashed into pieces. Refine. Xiaoping used the divine ability to devour souls. With his body as the center, a huge whirlpool formed. The soul energy left behind by the dead abyssal demons also quickly surged into his body. After a few breaths, the soul energy quickly condensed into soul crystals. He was really happy to do this. Because the soul energy left behind on this battlefield was too great, there were powerful abyssal demons dying at every moment. They were struck to death by the bright red lightning. Otherwise, they would be killed by their fellow demons who couldn't differentiate between friend and foe. If he had to do it himself, he would probably need to spend a certain amount of time to kill a powerful abyssal demon. But it was different now. With the power of heaven's retribution, these abyssal demons died easier than ants. And the Scepter of Glory's confusion effect only lasted for 3 seconds. Many abyssal demons also quickly regained consciousness. But when they realized what they had just done, they all went crazy. What's going on? Why did I attack my own people for no reason? Is that human? That human did it just now. What did that bastard do to us? Sage artifact. He took out another sage artifact. That sage artifact seems to have the ability to interfere with souls. It can make us fall into a state of confusion and unable to differentiate between friend and foe. Damn it. What's wrong with this human? Didn't they say sage artifacts are very rare treasures in the human world? Why can this kid casually take out 2 of them? That's too strange. What should we do? He has 2 sage artifacts on him. How can we get close? Chapter 1949. Originally, these abyssal demons thought that killing this human was in the bag. After all, facing the attack of so many demons, even a demon overlord would not be able to withstand it and would instantly turn to dust. Who would have thought that this human would have such a strange treasure that could attack as a group, causing them to be in chaos? This greatly reduced the power of their joint attack. In this situation, they were immediately at a loss of what to do. Now they could not escape. Even if they wanted to join forces to kill this human, the problem was that this brat had the glory scepter and could easily break their joint attack. Before they could even get close to this brat, their consciousness would be taken away by the glory scepter again. If that was the case, their plan to get close to this human was not to kill him, but to seek their own deaths. You demons are overestimating yourselves. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back. Even the heavenly tribulation cannot kill me. How can trash like you have such power? Know your place, okay? Obediently become cannon fodder to attract the power of the heavenly tribulation. Maybe when the heavenly tribulation ends, some of you can live. If you continue to resist stubbornly like this, you might even die. Why seek your own deaths? He tried to persuade the abyss demons out of goodwill. Fuck, just now you were acting cool and saying we were brothers. Now you've finally shown your true colors. As expected, he wants us to be cannon fodder to attract the firepower for him. This fucking human is shameless. Shameless human, do such a wicked thing. Doesn't your conscience feel uneasy? But hearing these words, the group of abyssal demons was infuriated. They knew that this bastard human had finally revealed his true colors. He wanted to use the abyssal demons as scapegoats. But thinking of this, they became even angrier. They actually could not do anything to him. Stupid human, you are too arrogant. This is the abyss world, the territory of us abyssal demons. It is not a place for a puny human like you to behave atrociously. At this moment, a terrifying and indescribable voice rang out, shaking the heavens and earth. A gigantic black shadow appeared in front of all the abyssal demons. It was like a 10,000 zhang tall mountain, exuding a terrifying abyssal aura, the aura of the 9 underworlds. It was the overlord of the abyssal demons, the 9 underworlds demon. At this moment it could not hold back anymore. It wanted to personally attack and kill this damn human. Dong. Tens of bolts of red lightning struck the 9 netherworld demons' body, but the 9 netherworld demons' body only trembled a bit before all the bolts of red lightning dissipated, unable to deal much damage to it. Perhaps there would be injuries, but for a 9 underworld demon with a 9 underworld body, it was nothing. Seeing this, the abyss demons were overjoyed. They finally saw the light of victory. This was because netherworld demons were different from ordinary abyssal demons. They were born from the netherworld abyss, and their bodies were filled with the power of the netherworld. Netherworld astral gale. In an instant, the netherworld demon attacked. With its body as the center, it created a terrifying current of air, as if it was a spatial hurricane born from the universe. This was the 9 nether astral wind that originated from the 9 nether region. It was a terrifying airflow that was enough to blow any expert below the Thunder Tribulation realm to death and turn them into ashes. Even if a Thunder Tribulation realm expert encountered the netherworld astral wind, they would either die or be injured. This was because the astral wind not only harmed the body, but it could also destroy the soul, causing double damage. It was indestructible. Whoosh. When the wind blew, the airflow turned into a black astral wind that contained terrifying netherworld energy. It emitted an aura of destruction, corrosion, cutting, and so on. The airflow quickly turned into saber chi, covering the sky and covering the earth. Within a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers, there were black saber lights. No demon could clearly count how many black saber lights there were in the entire world. They could only see that the world was filled with them, as if the land was on the verge of collapse under the black saber lights. The entire land was easily cut open by the astral wind, and countless ravines appeared. It was as if the entire demon continent was being torn apart by the netherworld astral wind. Many abyssal demons were scared half to death, because the black saber lights couldn't differentiate between friend and foe. If they stayed near the saber lights, they would be easily cut in half by the black saber lights. They were so scared that they fled in all directions so as not to fall into the battle between the two peerless experts and be implicated. Holy light illumination. Xia Ping waved the glory scepter and pointed it at the void. Rumble, suddenly, thousands of beams of holy light bombarded down, as if turning the entire area into a world of light. The world of angels was enough to purify all the darkness and filth in this world. Vaguely, there seemed to be countless angels appearing in the abyss world. They held scepters, bemoaned the state of the universe, and shone with holy light. They were praising the greatness of the Lord, and countless poems were sung. The holy light also bombarded the netherworld astral wind. The two forces collided fiercely, and a rumbling sound rang out. Both sides had reached the pinnacle of power, and no one could do anything to the other. Suddenly they were annihilated and disappeared into nothingness. Damn it, this is the sacred artifact of the angel clan. It has a great restraining effect on us abyssal demons. Aren't you a human? Why do you have the artifact of the angel clan? The netherworld demon's pupils shrank. He didn't expect the scepter to be so powerful. Even the netherworld astral wind he had triggered could be easily resisted. It was extremely terrifying. You don't need to know that. The dead don't need to know anything. Glory scepter, holy light punishment. Xia Ping held the glory scepter and pointed it at the netherworld demon. Boom. Instantly, a thick white holy light burst out from the top of the glory scepter. This holy light was boundlessly terrifying. It contained the aura of rejection, destruction, and annihilation. It was a power that could punish everything. This was also the glory scepter's strongest attack. It was like a laser, and it arrived in an instant. Whoosh. In an instant, this light of punishment arrived from afar and tore through the void. Countless angel runes gathered in the depths of this holy light, containing boundless energy. Damn it. The netherworld demon's hair stood on end as he felt the impending danger of death. This light of punishment was extremely terrifying, and it targeted the soul. If his body was hit by this light, his soul would instantly collapse, and even a saint wouldn't be able to save him. Netherworld transformation, illusory and real are mine, netherworld body. In an instant, the netherworld demon used the divine ability within his body, and his entire body turned illusory. He turned into a phantom, and a netherworld astral wind immediately escaped. He had actually escaped from the light of punishment at this critical moment. However, the abyssal demons behind the netherworld demon were not so lucky, and they were brushed by the light of punishment. Chapter 1950. You actually dodged it? Xia Ping raised his brows and looked at the 9 underworld demon in surprise. The other party was indeed worthy of being one of the demon overlords. Its ability to change between real and illusory was extraordinary and could not be underestimated. If it transformed into the 9 underworld body, ordinary Thunder Retribution Realm experts would not be able to kill it and would even be slaughtered by the 9 underworld demon. In fact, the 9 underworld demon was famous for being ferocious and had killed countless humans. Once it appeared, rivers of blood would flow and corpses would be everywhere. Haha, foolish human, you can't kill me, the 9 underworld demon, even if you have a saint artifact. The 9 underworld demon said proudly, my 9 underworld body is illusory and exists between real and illusory. Ordinary power cannot harm my body. No matter how hard you try, you will not be able to harm me, the 9 underworld demon. But you are different. As long as you make a mistake, I, the 9 underworld demon, will take advantage of it and easily kill you. You will definitely lose this battle, no one will be able to save you. It exerted enormous pressure on Xia Ping and threatened him. It thought that it was already in an invincible position. As expected of the 9 underworld demon, making this human suffer with one move. It seems that there is no need for the heavenly tribulation to kill this human. Lord 9 underworld demon alone can easily end his life. Human, do you see this? This is the demon overlord of our abyss world. It is not something a human tramp like you can resist. Quickly go to hell and repent. You actually dare to come to our abyss world and show off your strength. You don't even know how to write the word, death. The demons were overjoyed. They could not wait to see this human die. As long as this human died, the heavenly tribulation would naturally disperse and they would be completely safe. Humans, surrender. Kneel down and beg for mercy. Become my slave and perhaps I can still give you a chance to live. Otherwise, you will die without a burial place today. Even a saint will not be able to save you. The 9 underworld demons shouted wildly and continuously attacked Xiaoping's confidence, trying to subdue him without a fight. Fool, you became so arrogant just because you dodged a move. I have many ways to kill you. Xiaoping made a grabbing motion, and another magic treasure appeared in his hand. It was the reincarnation brush. The reincarnation brush trembled and countless runes flickered on its body. Indistinctly, there seemed to be an illusory image of the great Tao of reincarnation revolving slowly, emitting a mysterious, ancient, and tyrannical aura. The void space trembled. In an instant, the brush lightly tapped the air, and a terrifying sharpness blasted out. It was like a ray of cold light that suddenly appeared in the darkness, tearing through the void. What is this? Immediately, the 9 darkness demons' hair stood on end as he felt that this sharp light was a great threat to him. It was as if this cold light could tear through everything, pierce through space, and even pull souls into the 6 paths of reincarnation. Sun and moon, heaven and earth, yin and yang rotate, 9 nether formless. Sensing this fatal crisis, the netherworld demon continuously used its innate ability and turned into a strand of black smoke as it instantly disappeared into the void. It was as if it was hiding in a different dimension. But in the next second, that ray of cold light directly tore through the void and seemed to penetrate its very essence, bombarding the body of the 9 underworlds. Ah! Immediately, the 9 darkness demon let out a shrill scream as it was dismembered and cut in half. Blood dripped everywhere and endless pain spread out, shaking even its soul. Impossible. The 9 netherworld demon could not believe his eyes and couldn't help shrieking. My 9 netherworld body is invincible, it's an ethereal body. This is a supreme power that surpasses everything. How can your power harm my body? What kind of magic treasure is this? Why does it have the power to harm my 9 underworld's body? It was insane. The 9 darkness demon believed that it stood at the peak of the universe. Other than saints, nobody could kill it. Even if they could defeat it, they couldn't kill it. Because it could escape at any time, nobody could do anything to it and nobody could harm its essence. But now, this human in front of it was holding a strange brush. With a light tap, its 9 underworld's body was torn apart, and even its soul was heavily injured. It couldn't help but feel a trace of fear of death, and it was no longer as confident as before. However, being able to harm the 9 underworld's body was normal. The power of the reincarnation brush surpassed everything. It belonged to the essence of power and it was extremely pure. Could split reincarnation yin and yang and cause an effect. Even though it was now sealed, it still contained a sharp power that could cut through all matter in this world. Even illusory matter could be easily cut in half. This was the power of the sharpest magic treasure in the universe. Noisy. Who told you that the 9 underworld's body is invincible? You're really a frog at the bottom of a well. Xiaoping didn't waste any words. He lightly jabbed out with his brush again, and several sharp lights blasted out with the speed of a clap of thunder. They were unstoppable and unstoppable. Facing this attack, even if the 9 darkness demon was at its peak, it wouldn't be able to escape, let alone now that it was heavily injured. Its strength had been reduced by more than half, so how could it escape? Ah! Immediately, the 9 darkness demon let out a miserable shriek. Its body, which had already been cut in half, was struck by the cold light and instantly broke into more than 10 pieces. Blood flowed everywhere. But this time it couldn't live anymore. It couldn't say anything because even its soul had been torn into more than 10 pieces. It could never recover. Just like that, the famous netherworld demon of the abyss world was killed on the spot. Xiaoping grabbed with his hand and immediately grabbed all of the 9 underworld demons' energy. He compressed it on the spot and quickly condensed it into a fist-sized soul crystal. Without a doubt, the soul energy of a 9 darkness demon was much stronger than ordinary demons. They weren't on the same level. What's going on? The overlord of the demons, the 9 darkness demon, is dead? Killed by this human and broken into more than 10 pieces? It can't even escape? Many demons were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Are you joking? The 9 darkness demon is known as an undying demon. Even in the immemorial era, it was impossible to kill a 9 darkness demon without paying a heavy price. How could it be killed by this human? What did this human do to the 9 darkness demon? Impossible, I don't believe this. How could a lowly human kill a 9 darkness demon? Could it be that we, the demons of the abyss, have really declined to such an extent that we can't even stop a puny human? He even slaughtered us in all directions. Even the overlord of the demons isn't his match. Many of the abyssal demons went crazy. This kind of reality toppled all of their beliefs. Especially when a peak demon like the 9 underworld demon died in Xiaoping's hands. This greatly intimidated the other demons, causing them to lose all their courage. Chapter 1951. Rumble. Just as the abyssal demons were in despair, a huge hand descended from the void. It was a huge hand formed by black flames. It was so huge that it seemed to be able to crush a planet. Many black patterns appeared in the depths of the palm. They were black flame runes, as if they were the source energy from the deepest part of the abyss. Such black flames made the abyssal demons tremble in fear. This was the famous abyss dark fire of the abyss world. It contained terrifying destructive power. Once touched by it, one would be instantly burned to death. Even the soul would be burned until the soul was completely burned. This was the world-destroying fire of the abyss world. Xiaoping also felt the fatal killing intent. He used the Kunping steps. His body flashed and he instantly left. But the huge black hand slammed down and slammed into the ground. A huge palm that was hundreds of thousands of kilometers wide appeared, flattening the surrounding mountains and flattening them. Huge cracks also appeared on the ground, forming deep and terrifying ravines that were so deep that the bottom could not be seen. At the same time, the abyss dark fire burned around these ravines, melting the rocks and turning them into black lava rivers. They were filled with the aura of destruction, darkness, madness and other things. This made the abyssal demons' hearts palpitate. Xiaoping looked forward and immediately saw a terrifying monster in front of him. It looked like a sun, but it was black. There were many tentacles on its body, and it also had 2 eyes and a mouth. Its whole body was burning with black flames. It was like a dark sun hanging in the sky. Bright sun demon? Xiaoping immediately saw that the one who attacked him was the famous overlord of the demons. It was a terrifying demon whose combat power was above that of the 9 underworlds demon, Bright Sun Demon. Human, you are mine. I'm going to eat you, eat you, eat you. Bright Sun Demon shouted crazily. There was a violent look in the depths of its eyes. It seemed like it could no longer hold back and wanted to attack Xiaoping. It couldn't wait to eat Xiaoping's flesh. The source energy of this human was calling out to it. It couldn't hold back the throbbing deep in its bloodline. The reason why it did not join hands with the 9 underworld demon before, apart from its cold nature, was because it wanted to get rid of the 9 underworld demon and devour this human's flesh and blood. Now that 9 underworld demon was dead, it could attack without any restraints. Even if it killed this human, no abyss demon would be able to snatch it from it. Rumble, in the blink of an eye, the countless dark tentacles on the luminous sun demon's body danced in the air. In an instant, flames raged and each tentacle turned into a dark flaming mountain, hurtling towards Xiaoping. Demonic flame myriad mountains. It was peerlessly violent and attacked with an all-powerful might. It wanted to suppress this human with its might, and it wanted to use absolute strength to completely annihilate this human, burning him to the point not even a strand of hair would remain. As the apex predator of the abyss world, its instincts erupted. Its violent aura scared the surrounding abyss demons into fleeing, not daring to approach. They were afraid that they would be killed on the spot by the Bright Sun Demon and eaten as food. Retreat. Hurry up and retreat. The glorious Sun Demon is about to go berserk. We can't stay here or we'll be eaten. Countless abyssal demons quickly retreated, distancing themselves from the battlefield. You want to eat me? When did I not want to eat you? Now let's see who is the predator standing at the top of the food chain. Xiaoping sneered, his eyes revealing a frightening cold light. The 100 million golden crow of hell cells in the depths of his body began to boil. Countless blood vessels surged like rivers, and endless flame energy emerged from the 108,000 pores on his body. In an instant, the golden crow of hell runes rapidly condensed, and suddenly turned into a golden crow of hell. Its feathers were burning, and it emitted a noble and ancient aura. Boom! The golden crow of hell moved slightly, opened its mouth, and swallowed the countless flames in the depths of the void. The countless dark flaming mountains in the air instantly collapsed, turning into flame energy and runes that filled the sky, all of which fell into the stomach of the golden crow of hell. In an instant, all the abyss dark flames in the sky were devoured cleanly, leaving not a single drop behind. The luminous sun demon was stunned. It had lived for countless years and had always stayed in the demon continent. From birth, it was already the overlord of the demons, standing above countless abyss demons. There was nothing that it couldn't burn to death or destroy with its descending flames. But now, this human in front of it had completely devoured the abyss dark flames on its body, as if he was eating food, completely devouring the flames that erupted from its body. This was simply unimaginable. 6 paths of reincarnation, judgment of gods and demons, spear of the underworld. In that instant, Xia Ping attacked again, activating the golden crow of hell bloodline in his body. Countless dark golden runes surged out, and the golden crow of hell flames gathered, quickly forming a dark golden spear. This was the spear of the underworld. Swoosh! Xia Ping held the dark golden spear and threw it at the luminous sun demon. It was extremely fast, tearing through the void, like a descendant shooting the sun, carrying a terrifying aura of destruction. The spear flew along, destroying everything in its path. Air waves surged, shaking the world. Boom! Before the luminous sun demon knew what was happening, its huge body was hit by the spear of the underworld. Its entire body was pierced from the inside out, and a large hole was formed in the middle. In the next second, the aura of destruction within the spear of the underworld exploded, producing a terrifying destructive power that instantly destroyed the luminous sun demon's soul. This was like the judgment of the god of the underworld, directly destroying the luminous sun demon's soul. Arg! At this moment, the luminous sun demon felt intense pain, and only then did it realize what had happened. Fear, unwillingness, and regret finally appeared in the depths of its eyes. But it was already too late. Its huge body had been pierced by the spear of the underworld, and it was torn to pieces. Even its primordial spirit had been destroyed. It was already deader than dead. To be honest, the luminous sun demon was indeed an extremely powerful demon. It was an overlord-level existence. Just its abyss dark flames alone could kill ordinary people if they approached it. Not to mention, its huge body also had the ability to regenerate at a high speed. It was impossible for ordinary cultivators to harm it at all. Usually, killing a luminous sun demon required a crazy amount of human lives. It was impossible to kill a luminous sun demon without the deaths of thousands of lightning tribulation realm cultivators. Unfortunately, the luminous sun demon had met its nemesis Xia Ping. First of all, the abyss dark flames were useless against him. Next, he used the spear of the underworld. This was a mystique from hell, and it targeted the soul. No matter how huge the luminous sun demon's body was, or how fast it could regenerate, it was useless. With just one strike, its soul was destroyed as if it had been harvested by the god of the underworld. Chapter 1952. The moment the bright sun demon died, many of the abyssal demons were scared out of their wits. Impossible. Even the bright sun demon was killed by this human? This human is only at the middle stage of the transcendence realm. How can he have such power? Damn it. Who's the monster here? 2 overlord-class demons were actually slaughtered by him. Then, which abyssal demon here is a match for this human? Where's Skyheart Demon? Where did he go? Fuck, he ran long ago. It's not your first day knowing that guy. When he's in danger, he runs faster than anyone else. Fucking Skyheart Demon. To think he's an overlord demon. I didn't expect him to be so cowardly. Many of the abyssal demons were so angry their faces turned green. They had been fighting with their lives to block this human's attack. Unexpectedly, that Skyheart Demon had already run away. But there was nothing they could do. To be honest, Skyheart Demon was the strongest among all the demons here. If it wanted to run, no one could catch it. Due to the death of the glorious Sun Demon and 9 Underworld Demon, the confidence of the demons present was completely shattered. No one dared to attack Xiaoping anymore. They all stayed where they were, thinking about how to escape. It was very difficult to unite these abyssal demons. Without an overlord demon to lead them, they wouldn't listen to anyone else. They would be like a plate of loose sand. The spear of underworld is too strong. Xiaoping didn't care what the abyssal demons were thinking. Since they didn't attack, he didn't plan on killing them. After all, he needed these cannon fodder to help him block the heaven's wrath. He was now immersed in understanding the bloodline mystique. He was very grateful that he killed the bright sun demon with one move. He felt that this newly born bloodline mystique, the spear of underworld, was too powerful. It directly targeted the soul. Once this move hit the enemy would definitely die. It was like the god of the underworld descending to harvest the soul. For enemies with powerful physical bodies, this was a natural nemesis. After all, a strong body was useless against the spear of underworld. If the soul wasn't strong enough, it would be harvested. It was like the soul reaper demanding one's soul. Once the spear struck, the soul shattered. Boom, Xiaoping made his move again. With a grab, it was as though he had grasped the yin and yang in his hand. The void around them froze, and the luminous sun demon's corpse, which had been torn to pieces in the air, rapidly knitted itself back together. In the next second, the corpse of the sun demon was refined by the sun furnace. The impurities were removed, leaving behind only the essence. Finally, it turned into a relic the size of a watermelon. The relic condensed from the essence of the glorious sun demon was simply too powerful. Not only did it contain boundless spiritual energy, but it also contained extremely pure fire energy. There seemed to be a bright sun devil living in the depths of the relic. It was deducing all kinds of fire runes and scriptures, as if it could comprehend the origin of all fire cultivation methods in the abyss world. After all, the bright sun demon was a powerful sun born in the abyss world and was regarded as a substitute for the sun. It was born with a trace of fire divinity. There was an immortal aura in the depths of its bloodline. This was also the bloodline of a divine beast. This would be of great help to Xiaoping in condensing the Golden Crow Hell bloodline. Crash, thinking of this, Xiaoping did not say anything else. He immediately activated the sun furnace and rapidly refined the relic formed by the bright sun demon, devouring the flames of divinity contained within. In an instant, the relic fused into Xiaoping's limbs and bones. It fused with his magic power, his cultivation method, and even the depths of the Golden Crow Hell bloodline. Countless fire runes from the bright sun demon rapidly passed through his body and surged into the depths of Xiaoping's Dantian energy sea. They rapidly condensed into a flame seed. Pa pa pa. Stimulated by the bright sun demon's origin energy, Xiaoping felt the Golden Crow Hell cells in his body awaken rapidly. Originally, he had already awakened 100 million Golden Crow Hell cells in his body. If he wanted to continue awakening, he would need to expend an extremely large amount of energy. Awakening was also extremely difficult. However, after obtaining the origin energy of the bright sun demon, the flames of divinity, it was like pouring oil on a fire. It was as if he had eaten a complete tonic. The enormous Golden Crow Hell cells were awakening rapidly. 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 70 million, 100 million, 100 million, 130 million. In the end, he had awakened 200 million Golden Crow Hell cells. In other words, he had awakened 300 million Golden Crow Hell cells. What a powerful bloodline power. Xiaoping felt that after awakening 300 million Golden Crow Hell cells, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. He had reached a whole new level. His control of the Golden Crow Hell powers had become even more perfect. His Eye of Hell, Eye of the Golden Crow, Wings of the Golden Crow, Heart of the Golden Crow, Claws of the Hell, Spear of the Infernal Deity, and all of his other bloodline divine abilities had been upgraded by leaps and bounds. Even more unknown Golden Crow runes appeared in the depths of his blood, causing his blood to appear dark gold. It seemed to be giving birth to traces of an undying aura. This was the initial characteristic of a mythical creature. In the distance, many abyssal demons had noticed this as well. Their expressions were grave. They could feel that the human in front of them seemed to have turned into a giant furnace, emitting boundless heat. He was like the blazing sun in the sky, eternal and unchanging. They felt like they would be burned by the heat just by getting close. Countless amounts of abyssal devil energy melted under the heat like snow. Damn it, this human seems to have become even stronger. What's going on? Is there no limit to how much his strength can increase? This is too exaggerated. Some abyssal demons were very afraid. This human was already terrifying enough. Now his strength had increased by another level. His strength was unfathomable. He clearly didn't want them, the abyssal demons, to live. This isn't a human. He's a monster. I've never seen such a terrifying human. His strength is constantly increasing. There's no limit. Many abyssal demons were completely frightened by Xiaoping. Fear was planted deep in their hearts. In the sky, countless red tribulation clouds seemed to sense Xiaoping's aura rising. They became even more furious. This was seen as a provocation against the laws of the universe. Rumble, in an instant, countless bolts of bright red lightning descended. It was like a sea of lightning drowning the entire area. It seemed like it was going to raze this place to the ground and completely destroy it. Xiaoping was in the center of the bright red lightning. He was almost submerged by the tribulation lightning. However, he was neither happy nor sad. His strength was different from before. He had awakened 300 million golden crow hell cells. He was much stronger than before. Dong. Chapter 1953. 3 days and 3 nights passed in an instant. The 81 waves of lightning tribulation were finally about to end. Xia Ping stood where he was, his hair disheveled, his clothes tattered, and many wounds on his body. Blood flowed freely and he looked very wretched. But he was still in high spirits and his emotions were not dispirited. After all, he had gone through 81 waves of lightning tribulation, and this still hadn't killed him. This was enough to make him proud. In the sky, the huge red tribulation clouds were very unwilling to give up, and refused to dissipate for a long time. But the power of the heavens tribulation had already been vented out, and it could no longer strike down. In the end there was no other way. The red tribulation clouds also quickly disappeared, as though returning to the depths of the middle dimension. At this moment, everything within a radius of tens of billions of kilometers had been bombarded beyond recognition. Countless mountains had been flattened, and there were craters everywhere like the surface of the moon. Even the surrounding area was filled with the thick aura of lightning tribulation. Even if thousands of years passed, it probably wouldn't dissipate. As for the many abyss demons that Xia Ping had trapped within the range of the heavens tribulation, they were all struck to death by the lightning tribulation. They turned to dust and nothing was left. At the start, these abyss demons could still barely hold on. But after the 72nd wave, each wave was stronger than the previous one. This way, the many abyss demons could no longer hold on, and were all killed by the red lightning. As for the 81st wave, its power increased by tens of times, and it was like the end of the world. Only Xia Ping was still alive, and the other abyss demons were all killed. No matter where they hid, the abyss demons were all killed. Before dying, they cursed Xia Ping furiously, hoping that this human would die a horrible death. Unfortunately, no matter how these abyssal demons cursed him, Xia Ping remained unscathed. He was still as lively as ever. Of course, the scattered soul energy of these abyss demons was also devoured and refined by Xia Ping. He condensed them into soul crystals, and they were all stored in the mountain river pearl. Now he had millions of soul crystals on him. This was an earth-shattering amount of wealth. But the corpses of those abyss demons had all been blasted to smithereens by the red lightning. Otherwise, these corpses would be good materials. It's finally over. Xia Ping immediately breathed a sigh of relief. To be honest, the power of the 81 lightning tribulations was extremely terrifying. If he had not devoured the glorious sun demon's origin energy, it would not have been so easy for him. At the very least, he would be severely injured by the 81 lightning tribulations, and he would not be able to recover in a short period of time. Fortunately, he had these abyssal demons as cannon fodder. They helped him share a portion of the power of the heavenly tribulation, which made it much easier for him to pass the heavenly tribulation. Therefore, coming to the abyss to undergo tribulation had great benefits. This feeling, could it be that I'm about to break through? At this moment he was enlightened. He sensed that the magical power and mental energy in his body had almost reached their peak. It was like a water tank that was filled with water and was about to overflow. Dong. A dark golden door in the depths of his mind seemed to have been blasted open by an invisible force, and a huge bottleneck was also broken by a flood of magic power. His magic power cultivation had stepped into a new realm. Late-stage aspect realm. Xia Ping was invigorated. He immediately knew that he had finally broken through to the late-stage transcendence realm. At this moment, all the injuries on his body were healed immediately because of the breakthrough in his cultivation. His essence, spirit, and spirit were almost at their peak, and a strong aura surged out uncontrollably. The strong aura shook the ground under his feet, creating a huge pit. At the same time, countless cracks appeared on the ground, stretching for thousands of kilometers. In fact, breaking through to the late-stage aspect realm was something that happened naturally. After entering the myriad heavens creation map and devouring some ginseng fruits, the huge medicinal power was enough for Xia Ping to improve by leaps and bounds, condensing his magical power to the peak of the mid-stage aspect realm. Now, he had devoured a large amount of soul energy from the abyssal demons, devoured the huge amount of source energy from the bright sun demon, and even obtained the divine flame. With all these factors added together, even though he had 9 purple mansion spaces and needed a lot of energy, it was enough for him to break through to the late-stage aspect realm. Rumble. After the breakthrough, Xia Ping immediately realized that his sea of consciousness had undergone a huge change. First was the 9 purple mansion spaces. Because of the breakthrough in his cultivation, the 9 purple mansion spaces had expanded at the same time. They kept expanding towards the depths of the void, and their volume had doubled. This meant that the amount of magical power they could contain was even more terrifying. At the same time, his soul energy and the power of his consciousness had expanded further, and were much stronger than before. Even his martial path magical power talismans, and the 9 heaven and earth dharma forms had transformed. It felt like he had been reborn, and the power of his magical powers had become even stronger. Immediately he felt that his purple mansion space was empty. Because the area of his purple mansion space had expanded, his magical power hadn't kept up, and there were many barren places. But at this moment, a huge amount of energy immediately surged out from the depths of Xiaoping's body. It was rapidly converted into magical power, and it was frantically injected into the depths of the 9 purple mansion spaces. It was as though magical power was flowing backwards. This was the source energy from the bright sun demon. Although he had refined a lot of it previously, the energy in the bright sun demon's body was too huge, and he couldn't completely digest it in a short period of time. There was still a considerable amount of energy stored in the cells in his body, and he had to constantly refine and absorb it. Whoosh, Xiaoping felt a huge amount of magical power surging into his 9 purple mansions. He immediately felt waves of comfort, like dew after a long drought. The power in his body was immediately replenished. He felt that he was getting closer and closer to the peak of the Dharma form realm. The benefits of obtaining the source energy of the bright sun demon were too great. At least it saved him thousands of years of effort in condensing magical power. It also allowed him to improve at every moment. Whoosh. At this moment, Xiaoping's body immediately felt a bone-chilling coldness. It was as though he had fallen into a world of ice and snow. His body was being stared at by a terrifying malice. Who is it? Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of golden light that swept across the 9 heavens and 10 earths, piercing through the void. He suddenly discovered that a grayish-white shadow had appeared in the void in the distance, and it was flying towards him quickly. He immediately recognized that this grayish-white shadow was the demon overlord that had disappeared from the beginning, the Sky's Heart demon. Kiki human, I've waited for this moment. Die obediently. Your body belongs to me now. The Sky's Heart demon cackled. It revealed a treacherous smile, and it was extremely proud. Whoosh. Chapter 1954. Haha, stupid human. No matter how cunning you are, you still have to eat my bathwater. The Sky Heart demon was extremely proud. Previously, its ability as a Sky Heart demon was useless during the Heaven's Retribution. If it wasn't careful, it might even be struck to death by the Heaven's Retribution and follow in the footsteps of other abyssal demons. Therefore, it immediately hid and waited for an opportunity. It waited for 3 days and 3 nights. Finally, the Heaven's Retribution ended. Without the threat of the Heaven's Retribution, wouldn't it be easy for the Sky Heart demon to kill a human? Indeed, in terms of actual combat power, it wasn't a match for this human, nor was it a match for the Sun Demon or the 9 Underworlds demon. The problem was that it didn't just rely on fighting head-on. It could also use sneak attacks. Therefore, when it saw that this human had broken through to a new realm, and his magic power and divine sense had yet to stabilize, it knew it was time for it to sneak attack this human. Without hesitation, it turned into a heart demon's thought and entered the human's body. To be honest, the Sky's Heart demon had been drooling over this human's body for a long time. This was a body that even the bright sun demon desired. If it could completely destroy this human soul, obtain this body and refine it into a puppet for the Sky's Heart demon, then the Sky's Heart demon would immediately possess powerful combat power. Die human. Your body belongs to me now. The Sky Heart demon was proud. It entered Xiaoping's body and went deep into his sea of consciousness. It planned to find Xiaoping's soul and eat this human soul instantly. Fuck, what's going on? However, the Sky Heart demon was shocked when it entered Xiaoping's sea of consciousness. This was because it discovered that this human sea of consciousness was terrifyingly huge. It was far bigger than any creature it had seen before. Even the sea of consciousness of demon overlords like the 9 Underworlds demon and the Sun demon couldn't compare to this human at all. After all, this sea of consciousness was too vast. It was as vast as a galaxy. At the same time, there were 9 huge worlds in the depths of the sea of consciousness. Every single world seemed to be like a star that lay across this expanse of space. They emanated boundless heat and light, and they emanated an ancient, powerful, noble, eternal, and various other auras. For a moment, Heaven's Heart Demon felt helpless because the sea of consciousness was too huge. It was extremely difficult to find the location of the human soul. No wonder this human's magic power is so shocking and he's so powerful. He actually has such a huge sea of consciousness and 9 violet mansions? Is this really a human? The Sky's Heart Devil was shocked. It felt like it had discovered the source of this human strength. It had never seen a life form with 9 violet kingdom spaces. It was no wonder that the heavenly tribulation wanted to kill him. If such a monster became a saint, it was unknown how terrifying he would be. He would probably surpass all the existences that had existed since ancient times. Oh, there seems to be a little bug. Suddenly, a voice rang out in the sea of consciousness. It was like the ringing of a bell, causing Heaven's Heart Demon's body to shake and his head to hurt. Heaven's Heart Demon suddenly raised its head and saw a giant that looked like a human appearing in front of it. This giant was too huge. Standing in the sea of consciousness, the 9 worlds were as weak as eggs. This giant's entire body shone, and its true appearance could not be clearly seen. It seemed to be condensed from flames, and countless mysterious symbols appeared on its body, emitting an unfathomable aura. Dong. At that moment the giant suddenly moved. A huge hand came from the void and grabbed towards Heaven's Heart Demon. Oh no, run. Heaven's Heart Demon's hair stood on end as if it had met its natural enemy. It was just a thought now, a heart demon. In essence, it was a spiritual entity. A battle in the sea of consciousness was basically a battle between souls. Whoever had the stronger soul power would have the upper hand. That was the essence of a soul battle. Without a doubt, this giant had soul power that far surpassed Heaven's Heart Demon. If it was grabbed by this huge hand, it would probably be squashed like a bug. But it wanted to run, but it was too late. When the giant moved, the entire sea of consciousness turned upside down. Countless air currents wrapped around it as if the entire world had become its enemy. It was filled with malice and crushed towards its body, locking down the void. No, no, no. Heaven's Heart Demon couldn't help but scream. It felt like its body couldn't move, as if it was bound by an invisible power. It was trapped in a spatial cage. Boom! In the next second, the giant's hand came and slapped Heaven's Heart Demon's body. Terrifying energy exploded and the void seemed to crack. Ah! Heaven's Heart Demon immediately let out a shrill cry. Its body exploded into pieces just like that. Its soul was completely shattered. It was killed easily like a mosquito. The famous Heaven's Heart Demon was slapped to death just like that. How stupid. Xiaoping also sensed the situation in his sea of consciousness. He was speechless when he sensed Heaven's Heart Demon's death. This Heaven's Heart Demon was extremely stupid. If Heaven's Heart Demon had escaped, he might not have been able to kill this strange existence. But this fellow actually dared to barge into his sea of consciousness and tried to destroy his soul and take over his body. Wasn't this like a lamb entering a tiger's mouth? Whoosh! As Heaven's Heart Demon died, a terrifying dark vortex appeared in the depths of Xiaoping's mind. It immediately devoured and refined the soul power left behind by Heaven's Heart Demon. Immediately, the soul power condensed into a huge soul crystal. It was the size of a meteorite, and the soul power it contained was 10 times more than the Bright Sun Demon. It was no wonder that Heaven's Heart Demon was so confident and arrogant. It thought that it could destroy its own soul. It was a fiendish demon overlord to begin with, far surpassing ordinary fiendish demons of the abyss. Moreover, its soul power was 10 times stronger than a fiendish demon overlord like the Bright Sun Demon. Therefore, it was practically invincible in a soul battle against fiendish demons of the same rank. How could it have imagined that Xiaoping was such a monster? He was just a human in the late Transcendence realm, but his soul power surpassed all Thunder Tribulation realm cultivators. It was unbelievable. Heaven's Heart Demon didn't understand why this had happened. It died with grievances. What's this? Xiaoping squinted. He sensed that after he refined all of Heaven's Heart Demon's energy, a black talisman was condensed. It was beautiful and mysterious. It contained a dark and strange aura like a demon seed. Upon reaching the Great Perfection realm, he could immediately set up an illusory world with a single thought. This illusory world was incomparably realistic and had almost no flaws. It had its own ancient history and every life had its own growth process. There were also complicated interpersonal relationships between them. Every illusory life had its own consciousness and they could talk to each other. They also had their own emotions, joy, anger, sorrow, and joy. It was just like the real world. Before obtaining the Devil Heart Seal, he was unable to create such a realistic illusory world. However, after obtaining the Devil's Heart Seal and being able to sense the emotions of all living things in the world, he could immediately do this and endow countless illusory lives with complicated situations. It was as if he had transformed into a Heaven's Heart Devil. This was a power that originated from his instincts and was self-taught. One thought, one world. With a move of Xia Ping's thoughts, a silent wave immediately enveloped a radius of 1 billion kilometers. Suddenly, a real world descended on this abyss continent. In this area, it seemed that a huge human world had appeared. There were more than a dozen human countries. They had different histories and races, and there were even wars between them. The humans living in this place even had their own lives. On the streets, in the houses, inside the palaces, everyone was vivid and lifelike as if they really existed. Everyone had their own personality. One could even hear the noise and laughter on the commercial streets, the crying and quarreling sounds from the residents' houses, and the indescribable strange sounds. Unimaginable. Xia Ping stood on the street. He had a surreal feeling. Stepping on the concrete floor was so solid. The fragrance in the air, the touch of the soles of his feet, the sounds and the colors were all so vivid. Countless people passed by him. Some people accidentally bumped into him and they would apologize. Some people felt that he was standing in the middle of the road and they would curse and swear. Some people even called the police, wanting the police to take him away from this place. If this illusion was not set up by him, he would have thought that he was really in a real world. Although this illusion world was created by him, after the creation was successful, it seemed that the operation of this world could no longer be interfered with, and it had formed its own unique law. If this law and law were destroyed, the whole world would collapse. It's too mysterious. Xia Ping increasingly felt that the true explanation of illusion was really broad, profound, and unfathomable. It contained infinite mysteries and seemed to point directly to the great Tao. He didn't know which demon in the depths of hell created it. Moreover, this was only the first realm of illusion. If it reached the second realm or even the third realm, such an illusion would probably no longer be an illusion but a divine art. Beep beep. At this time, the system's voice sounded, "Congratulations to the host, you have attracted the hatred of a large number of abyss demons. This time, you have received a total of 100 hatred crystals. I hope you will continue to work hard." Xia Ping finally came back to his senses at this moment and broke away from the illusion. He didn't expect that after killing a large group of abyss demons, he could still gain so much hatred. In addition to the previous hatred, he now had a total of 560 hatred crystals, and it was not too far away from getting 1,000 hatred crystals. Well, it's time to go back. Xia Ping sorted out the harvest and felt that he had successfully passed the tribulation this time. Not only did he successfully pass the tribulation, but he could also harvest a large number of soul crystals, which was a big harvest. In this case, there was no point in staying in this place. It was better to go back and continue to be an observer, lest the elders think that he had not appeared for a long time and thought that he had died in the demon continent. He looked at the illusion world in front of him, which seemed to have solidified. If there was no external force to destroy it, it was estimated that this illusion world would not dissipate for thousands of years. Whoosh! Xia Ping's figure flashed, and without destroying the illusion world, he immediately flew back to the original place. But after flying for a while, his heart palpitated and he suddenly stopped. Huh? Isn't this Jianghu and the others? Chapter 1956. Whoosh! Xia Ping's figure flashed, and he immediately landed in front of Yu Qiqi, Jianghu, Suji and Chu Rong. Boom! Just as he landed, the thousands of abyssal demons in the valley were immediately ignited by flames. From inside to outside, their entire bodies turned into huge torches that shot into the sky. The abyssal demons were terrified to the extreme and let out shrill screams. But after a breath's time, the screams stopped. They were also burned to ashes, leaving nothing behind. What's going on? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He had not expected such a thing to happen. He had not done anything just now. All he had done was descend into the valley, and the group of abyssal demons had burned themselves to death. However, he could also sense that the flames had indeed come from his body, and had been ignited by his own power. It was not someone else who had killed the abyssal demons. So that's how it is. Xia Ping thought about it carefully and quickly understood what had happened. This was because the golden crow of hell bloodline in his body had evolved too quickly, especially after he had devoured the bright sun demon's origin energy and obtained a wisp of its divine flames. This had allowed him to advance by leaps and bounds, awakening 300 million golden crow of hell cells. This way the flame aura and pure yang aura on his body were frighteningly strong. Although he didn't feel anything, this terrifying flame aura couldn't be restrained at all. In the eyes of others, Xia Ping was like a sun walking on land, constantly emitting terrifying heat. Of course, under Xia Ping's control, this heat would not casually explode. But if an enemy was hostile towards Xia Ping, this terrifying flame energy would automatically counterattack, instantly killing the enemy. This was an instinctive counterattack so fast that Xia Ping did not even realize it. The group of abyssal demons in the valley did not know about this. When they saw another human coming, they naturally treated Xia Ping as their greatest enemy. The result was obvious. Their evil and killing intent had just exploded, and it immediately triggered Xia Ping's defensive instincts. Terrifying flame energy blasted out. Even if it was just a trace, it was not something these weak demons could defend against. In an instant, the group of abyssal demons were burned to death. Their bodies were ignited by the flames and turned to ashes. Looks like I'll need to cultivate in seclusion for a period of time before I can completely master the golden crow of hell's bloodline. Xia Ping rubbed his chin. He felt that he had indeed improved a little too quickly over the past few days. This had also caused a slight flaw in his control over his power. He would need some time to completely master it. Xia Ping, why are you here? Jianghu asked curiously. Yuqiqi, Suji and Chu Rong also felt that it was very strange. After all, Xia Ping was an observer, so he shouldn't be interfering with the training of new disciples like them. If they were found out, they would probably be disqualified from the trial and would be thought to have relied on others to cheat. I just happened to pass by. Xia Ping expressed that it was just a coincidence and that he did not deliberately arrive at this place. As for that group of abyssal demons, it wasn't because he wanted to help. It was purely because that group of abyssal demons were courting death. They actually dared to have the intention to kill him. In the end, they were automatically burned to death by the flames on his body. Could it be that you were the one who created that blood-colored tribulation cloud? Did you just come back from the depths of the demon continent? Yuqiqi immediately recalled her previous conjecture. She felt that such a huge commotion definitely had a lot to do with Xia Ping, that shit stirrer. This is a secret. If you want to know, tonight when we're alone in a room I can slowly tell you. I can tell you everything in detail and we can talk through the night. Xia Ping said with a smile. Pei. Who cares about your secret? Shameless, stinky human. Yuqiqi's face turned red. She naturally knew what Xia Ping was trying to say. He was obviously trying to do something to her. Now that they were alone in a room, how could she escape? Suji, why is your face so red? Are you having a fever or are you sick? Chu Rong immediately noticed that Suji was acting strangely. Her fair and tender face had turned red. Her pair of beautiful eyes were watery, and there was a hint of lust in them. No matter how she looked at Suji, she felt that there was something wrong with her, as if she had taken drugs. I don't know what's going on either. I just suddenly feel that Xia Ping has become very handsome, invincibly handsome. Suji's face turned red as she blurted out. However, after saying these words, she was so ashamed that she wanted to die. She wished that she could bury her head in the ground. How could she say such shameless words? Very handsome? This is just a trivial advantage of mine. I also have the advantages of being tall and mighty, gentle and kind, brave and tenacious, long-lasting and so on. Damn female rogue, what are you doing? Xia Ping was planning to continue bragging about himself, but suddenly Suji seemed to be unable to bear it. She pounced on him like a female Selin, and hugged him like an octopus, extremely shameless. Rogue, I want to test your advantage of being able to last for a long time. Suji gently raised her head and exhaled. Her beautiful eyes were like a pool of spring water, beautiful beyond compare. Although this is one of my more prominent advantages and has long been famous in the world, but now is obviously not the time. In broad daylight and there are people watching, you better respect me. I am a man with principles. Xia Ping swallowed his saliva. He felt that he was a little unable to control himself. His willpower was quite weak. Is that so? But don't you think it's more exciting to have people watching? Or do you hate me? Suji giggled. Her white and tender little hand gently drew a circle on his chest. How could I hate you? Even if I hate the whole universe, it's impossible for me to hate you. Xia Ping said with a guilty conscience. He felt that he could no longer control himself. This kind of action, this kind of tone, this kind of demeanor, could absolutely capture any man. This was a woman's godly skill. But before he could finish speaking, a small hand forcefully grabbed him from the side. The person who grabbed him was Jianghu. She also seemed to be very strange. Her pretty face was flushed and her beautiful eyes were blurred. She grabbed Xiaoping's collar and directly pulled him in front of her chest. Her manner was incomparably domineering. "Smelly rogue, you like that kind of shameless hooves. Everywhere you go you flirt with other women. Don't tell me as your childhood sweetheart I can't do it? If you want it, don't tell me I can't give it to you? My chest, isn't it big enough? You absolutely can. Your growth, I can see it with my own eyes." Xiaoping felt a little breathless. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.